Hello everyone! We are back once again with another Ace Attorney Investigations, and of course this would be the picture for case 3 of the first game. So creepy, guys, so creepy. Alright, let's begin. Let's start. Let me get me guide ready in case I get stuck. We have a lot to do today. Let me see, give me a second here. Ace. And I know what you're thinking, why not do this before the stream starts? Well, I was a bit busy, sorry. I was a wee bit busy, but I'm here now. Let's see, turnabout, kidnapping beginnings, beginning. Ayah. That's right, we met Lang. Hello everyone. Hello Lang. Nice to meet ya. Give me a second, guys. Okay. Okay. Here we go. We're good to go. We're good to go, guys. I think we're good to go. So, ayah. So you did notice that there was too little blood. Do you still wish to claim that Officer Meekins committed the murder here? Because this isn't a crime scene, and if it was your men who led you to think it was, then I suggest you leave this case to the local police to set the record straight. Give me a second. Okay, set the record straight. Grrr. Ha 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 ha. Not bad. I see your logic can be just as sound as mine. In that case, let me ask you this. Don't you think it's weird that Officer was hanging out around here in the first place? Weird? How so? Hey you, your squad's not even supposed to be in this area, right? What were you doing neglecting your duties and loafing around here? Don't you dare give me some lame excuse like I found myself taking a walk. But sir, I really did take a walk, sir. You're a disgrace. How dare you take your pack obligation so lightly? Officer Meekins is looking extra meek. Is he hiding something? Mr. Edgeworth, please, sir. Save me the way you did earlier, please, sir. Officer Meekins, please give us a detailed account of what happened. Sir, not you too. We're cross-examining the Meekins now. It's true, sir. I wasn't assigned to this area, sir. I was told to check every square inch of the main gate area, sir. I also went looking for the kidnappers while selling dreams in the Blue Badger mobile, sir. But I got completely caught up in my role selling dreams to the children, sir. Before I knew it, I found myself here in this area, sir. Oh, joy. What is this Blue Badger mobile? It's a moving store on wheels that sells sweet dreams and merchandise, sir. So, the Blue Badger mobile is just a roaming souvenir shop? Hey, Ruins! Ruins, thank you for the sub, Prime sub. I appreciate you, you're awesome. You are here. How you doing today, Ruins? It's awesome to see you here. Sir, I swear I was chasing the kidnappers down while I was being a good dream merchant. He seems rather worked up, even more than his usual hyperactive self. He sure seems sure of what he's saying. Can you try to calm down and lower your voice to a more reasonable level, officer? Sir! Roger, sir! But yeah, thanks so much, Ruins. How was your day today? Were you good? Were you awesome? Were you awesome and good? Give me a second, guys. I just want to get caught up to my, thing. Okay. It's true, sir. I wasn't assigned to this area, sir. I was told to check every square... Oh. It's true, sir. I was assigned to this area, sir. Alright then. Where were you assigned to? This feels a bit... Oh, yeah, it is loud. My bad. Okay, we're good to go. Alright. Where were you assigned to? I was assigned to the main gate, sir. He must mean the area with the bridge and the outrageous fountain. Okay then, why are you here in the Wild West area? It's because of a very deep reason, ma'am. I was told to check every square inch of the main gate area, sir. Looking for the kidnappers while selling dreams in the Blue Badger mobile, sir.
Hold it!
What exactly do you mean by selling dreams? Sir, the Blue Badger Mobile is where dreams are collected. What? Sweetness like you've never known except in dreams, ma'am, like innocent drops. And bitterness found only in nightmares, ma'am, like guilty jawbreakers. Selling those as I push the Blue Badger Mobile along is my sworn duty, ma'am. But I got completely caught up in my role selling dreams to the children, sir. Okay. I actually need to present. Present the thing was parked inside the Wild Wild West area garage. Objection! Hey, Foursquare, you're waiting for your Amazon order hype? Dude, awesome. What did you get? Something amazing or something secret? But yes, welcome. Welcome on in. Good to see you, my friend. A foot bath? That's pretty cool. Gotta get them feet washed, eh? Or a feet bath. But, I hope your day's been going good. Aside from waiting on things. Amazons. Officer Meekins, I would appreciate it if you didn't tell such transparent lies. Sir? I'm lying, sir? Yes, you are. If you were really out there selling dreams with the Blue Badger Mobile until recently, then what is it doing here inside of the garage? Ah! Actually, I had just lost track, sir. Lost track of what? By the time I realized that the Blue Badger Mobile was nowhere to be found, sir. You are tired, you're not working today, so tired. Work from 8 to 4. Usually your day off on Tuesday and Wednesday. Aw, man. Had to work. Or you're not working today. Well, glad you got the day off. I hope you can get a good night's sleep tonight, Ruins. Placed the order 3 hours ago and it will be here soon. Future is Bishan. I bet. Baths for your feet? What kind of crazy thing is this? Nowhere to be found, sir. Which would mean it was perhaps stolen. And that's when I came back to this area, thinking maybe it was in the garage, sir. But that's where you found it when you found me, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. A likely story. Who do you think is going to buy such a convenient tale as that? And what exactly is so convenient about his story? The car getting stolen, it's completely unbelievable, even for a cover story. But I think we can assume the car was used alright to move the dead body. What? You killed the victim at some distant location, Officer Meekins, and then you used the Blue Badger Mobile to transport it all the way here. Now then, you're coming with me. But it wasn't me, sir, the killer, sir, it wasn't me, sir. Hey, Blue Thunder, what's up? How you doing today? How goes you? Agent Lang, wait. What do you want now? We still don't know where the real scene of the crime is. You can't say we know all the facts of this case, let alone the truth. I told you, truth's smooth, I couldn't care less. How are you doing? I'm okay. I am awesome. I'm ready to play more ASA investigations. Our job is to catch the crook. You'll find out your precious truth after we arrest this guy and take him in. That's the job of you prosecutors in your fancy courts with your logic. As for us, we don't have that kind of time to waste. You boorish buffoon. I think you need to leave. What? We need to get the body to autopsy, and you guys are getting in the way. You would interfere with another one of my investigations? You came from eating dinner at TGIW? What's that stand for? Hey now, let's not forget who holds the actual authority to conduct investigations here. Grr. I'm afraid the one doing the interrupting is you, my ignorant little pretty boy. No. Now be a good fancy boy and get out of my sight. If you don't, I'll arrest you for obstruction of justice. Oh dear. Fridays. Fridays. It's Friday. Alright, guys. To this area. March 13th. Ooh, it's March 13th, everyone. Today is Wednesday, so you may have ate at home. Today is Wednesday, yeah. Nah, chased out like a pair of peasants. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Kay? There's something even thieves should never steal. Do you know what that is? You really shouldn't steal anything, however, I'll bite. What shouldn't a thief steal? A life. It's too heavy of a burden on your soul to get away with, ever. That's something we can agree on. Well said, Kay. No matter what we may try, murder is the one crime that can never truly be hidden. You're planning, you said TGIW, because you eat at TGIF. Oh, I gotcha. So you're joshing. You're being silly. Friday is good dumplings. I don't know if I've ever been there before, to be honest. And I intend to prove that by my own hands when I apprehend the murderer myself. Alright, and I'm going to work extra hard to be a good assistant. Let's go! I still never said she could be my assistant. I'm just going to drop the issue. The first thing we should do is locate the real scene of the murder. Mr. Edgeworth! Mr. Edgeworth! Detective Gumshoe! Mr. Edgeworth, the stadium! Hurry, sir! This is supposed to be hush-hush, but they found a witness at the stadium. A witness? The food's good? Ooh, the food's good. You, what did we tell you about leaving your assigned post? The jig is up. Mr. Edgeworth, remember that I'm always rooting for you. Go get him, sir! Those detectives sure look like they're enjoying themselves. It's not all fun and games, Kay. Now then, let's head to the stadium and meet this witness. Huh. Who's the witness, everyone? Part of me wishes Captain Chips and Mafia were here, since they know Ace Attorney the most right now. But, they'll see the surprise soon, I suppose, huh? Happy Hump Day! Happy Hump Day, yep. Tempting but swords in Amazon tonight. Yep. I thought there was a witness here. Yeah, I don't see anyone. Mr. Edgeworth! Look who it is! Long time no see. You are Miss Emma Skye, correct? This girl is the younger sister of my former superior, Lana Skye. 2 years ago, we stood in the same courtroom together as witness and prosecutor, but I thought she had gone to Europe to study forensics. I can't believe you remember me, Mr. Edgeworth. Of course I do. How have you been? You look to be in good spirits. Anyone remember this character? Emma Skye. Are you still studying abroad? You bet. More than anything, I want to investigate crime scenes scientifically. I've been studying non-stop every day to become a top-notch forensic scientist. But it's spring break now, so I thought I'd come back for a bit. I see. You are the witness because you should up late. You showed up late. Well, here's Emma Skye, everyone. Awesome. Oh, this place is all down. Wasn't there a stage here, remember? I assume this is another Badgermobile? Yeah, but it's a different color than the Blue Badger's car. Yes, this is the retina searing pink model. Hi, Emma! I almost didn't recognize you. You've really grown in these past few years. Please don't tease me, Mr. Edgeworth. I know I still have a long way to go. But I'm going to be a super forensic scientist someday. You'll see. You seem to know Mr. Edgeworth really well. Are you two acquaintances? Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Emma Skye. Nice to meet you. I'm studying abroad right now to be a forensic scientist. How about you? Wow, that's a great dream. My name's Kay Faraday, and I'm training to become an unstoppable great thief. A great thief? Don't think too hard on it, Emma. It's not worth the trouble. In any case, we have much to catch up on. You bet we do. Alright, Emma. We have a lot to talk about. So, why are you here, Emma? Well, I just happened to decide to come back home for a spring break. And then I heard that you'd come back too, so I raced on over here. I'd really wanted to welcome you back at the airport, but I had just missed you. How exactly did you know I was here? Through the power of science, naturally. Never underestimate what science can do for you. I used these to track your footprints, and I followed them straight to you. The set is the greatest. It's so wonderfully scientific. You spray this chemical on the ground, and when you shine the special light on it, zing! The footprints light up like an electrified noble gas in a glass tube. It's almost like magic, scientifically speaking. Forensic science has never seemed more ominous to me than at this very moment. The witness. Emma, I'd like to ask you about what you witnessed. Huh? What are you talking about? Are you not the witness Detective Gumshoe told us about? Well, I did get a call from Detective Gumshoe earlier. He was practically yelling at me. Mr. Edgeworth needs your scientific doohickeys right now, pal, he said. What was that man thinking? Or rather, not thinking. So let me guess, there's been a murder, right? Yes, unfortunately. There's a sudden glint in her eyes. But I need to keep my mind focused on the witness. Now where did that person go? What's that off in the distance? Oh gosh. Oh hey, it's the pink badger. Badger, get! Badger, 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 badger. Just what does she see in these silly things? I think this badger has something to say to you, Mr. Edgeworth. Are you by chance the witness I've been searching for? Sorry, but I don't speak badger dance. Welp, we have a pink badger now, guys. Who could be under the pink badger? Where are you going, Mr. Edgeworth? We have to find the witness before that mean old werewolf does. You're right. The witness is supposed to be here in the stadium, but where? Where, guys? Where's the Where's the witness? Here she is. Arg! I can't take being inside that stuffy head anymore. No, why her? Why here? Why now? I first met this woman 3 years ago. She was a witness in one of my cases. She has since gone out of her way to pop up unexpectedly and cause me great grief. Edgy Poo, why couldn't you understand what I was trying to tell you? I mean, really? I was trying so hard to keep the kids' dreams alive by staying in character, but you couldn't pick up what I was trying to convey to you. I'm sick and tired of these roundabout way of talking, so I'm going to just be direct. I had a bad feeling before, but this just made it official. Today has gone from beyond the typical not my day into the realm of waking nightmare. So you're a friend of Mr. Edgeworth too, Miss Pink Badger? You could say that, but right now I'm just the Pink Badger, dearie. She may look the part, but I know better than to trust my eyes around this woman. My name is Wendy Oldbag, but you can call me Wendy, or Granny, or whatever suits your fancy. Nice to meet you, Miss Oldbag. I'm Kay Faraday. What do I care about a young whippersnapper like you? Yeesh, I was just trying to be polite. Oh boy, she's back, guys. Wendy Oldbag is back. Weren't you a security guard at one of the Gatewater hotels the last time we met? I go where I'm needed. I'm very good at what I do, unlike the youth of today. I get called in all the time to fill in where there aren't enough hands. But enough about me, Edgy Poo. I'm thoroughly dejected right now. I finally get the chance to see you again, and here you are talking with 2 young girls. Men are all the same. It doesn't matter how old they get with young girls. Why they happen with you and if I get to notice me? No arrangement with an 18-year-old. I say the person with the 3 years. That girl. You attract all sorts of interesting people, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, please, I'm begging you. By all means, do not provoke her any further. The witness. Aren't you forgetting about something, Mr. Edgeworth? This person could be the witness. Honestly, I hope she isn't, but I don't think fate is going to be so kind today. I saw what happened. I even saw the exact moment it happened. How's that? So it's true. She's the witness. I don't suppose I can afford to ignore the old bag. Yes, it was just a little while ago. I saw it happen right in front of me. The moment of the murder. You mean to say that you witnessed someone being killed right before your eyes? Sounds like a pretty important piece of testimony to me. Oh God, we're cross-examining her. I came to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and saw 2 men facing each other in that area. Suddenly, there was a loud gunshot, and the person who was shot fell to the ground. It was a very terrifying experience, let me tell you. Looks like we hit the jackpot, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, I can't afford to ignore what she has to say. Unfortunately. What's that unfortunately you tacked on at the end of supposed to mean, Edgy Poo? Well, anyways, let's see what we can find out from this little old lady. Rebuttal. I came to the stadium to take a short break.
Hold it!
You mean you took a break from being the pink badger? You may not think it, but it's hard work keeping kids' dreams alive. You smell of sweat, your hip creaks with pain, even begin to dream about work. That's the kind of story that would scar a child for life, you know. Well, that's why I chose to come take my break here, whippersnapper. I don't plan on playing the part of the dead badger in front of a bunch of kids. So what did you see while you, the pink badger, were resting? Oh, yes, that. Well... As I was resting, I happened to glance over and I saw two men facing each other in that area.
Hold it!
You saw two men? Can you describe them for me? They looked like your average Joes, completely uninterested and not worth fawning over. I'm telling you, they were so boring that I don't even remember beyond much that. But did they have any special features? Anything you can recall would be very helpful. Oh my, don't tell me you're jealous of those two men. Hey, she's right. You do seem pretty worked up over them, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm not worked up over anyone, and I'm not jealous. It's all right, Edgy-Poo. Those two were just fools compared to a stallion like you. I thought so little of them that I lost interest in the instant I laid eyes on them. Suddenly, there was a loud gunshot, and the person who was shot fell to the ground.
Hold it!
You're claiming to have seen the exact moment in which the murder took place? Absolutely. That gun made a terrible racket when it was fired. You didn't try to go help the person that got shot. I'm only one person, you smart alecky brat. What could I have done? But I took off as soon as I could to find someone who could help. Two men, one bullet. It's all consistent with what we found out from the body. Sadly, there wasn't exactly a lot of new information to go on in your testimony. Well, if I saw the guy again, I'm sure I could identify him for you. I mean, how do you expect me to remember anything without something to jog my memory? Self-centered, aren't we? While it was somewhat useful, her testimony also presents us with a new problem. Mr. Edgeworth! Yes? So, about this new problem, what is that giant grin on your face for? Do you want me to show you something really nice? No, thank you. Don't be so mean. I swear it's something you're going to like. What is that gadget you're holding? What you see before you is the secret weapon of a great thief. Ah, I should have known it would be worthless. Aw, don't be like that. Tee-hee. Ahem. What do you think now? What is it doing? It's projecting something into the air. I'm going to input the necessary information to run the simulation now. Once I'm done, I'll increase the size of the projection to its maximum size. Everyone in chat, want to see something cool? Anyone who's still here? Dark skies of evening, where no other bird dares take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Whoa. What is this? This is the recreation of the murder based on the info I inputted into Little Thief. Little Thief? I dare say you're taking the Robin Hood thing a bit too far. Little Thief is actually meant to be a simulator for me to plan my thefts. But I suppose if I used it like this... Let's see. Miss Oldbag said that the two men were facing each other. And then a gunshot rang out and the victim fell to the ground. Ah, so with this we can inspect the crime scene as it was in the past. See? So what do you think? I have to say I'm impressed by this technology thieves have access to these days. Well, it is the super secret weapon of the mighty Yatagarasu. Indeed. Oh, but if there isn't enough information, or if something is out of place, the recreation could come out a little strange. In other words, I can use this to authenticate the validity of a witness's testimony. Hey, Mafia! Welcome to the stream! How you doing today? What were you doing this morning that made you so busy? I'm kinda curious. But it's good to see you here today. Mafia, there's some familiar people on the screen, by the way. Do you recognize them, by any chance? Right now, the simulation is a recreation of that witness's testimony. So for now, I should re-examine everything, and if I find anything illogical or strange, I can then ask for clarification. Feel free to examine anything in the simulation in the way you always do. You can even present evidence when you find a contradiction. And if you find something, I've got Little Thief with me, so you just let me know, okay? But yeah, see anything familiar, or anyone familiar, Mafia? According to the testimony, the victim fell to the ground here. He was serving food to firefighters. Oh yeah, Angel Love mentioned that too. How was that? Was it fun? Hopefully you did a good job and they appreciated you. That's right, but if that's the case, then we've already found our first contradiction. Huh? What? Where? If this is the real scene of the crime, there's something missing that should be here. It was fun. I'm glad you had a good time. The missing item. Wouldn't it be that he was facing upwards? Please say that it was facing upwards.
Take that!
This is the contradiction. Eh? Is something wrong with my recreation? If this is the real scene of the crime, something specific should be here. If you think back, how did we deduce that the other crime scene was not the real one? Oh, I get what's missing now. There's no blood on the ground here either, right? Right. The fact that there is no blood here casts doubt on the witness's testimony. Edgy Poo, how could you doubt me like that? Mafia, remember her? Remember this lady? She's back. Are you calling me a liar? I know what I saw, and I saw the victim get shot down. You know, I don't think she's lying, Mr. Edgeworth. Yep, she's back. She's the Pink Badger. To be honest, I can't think of a reason why she would lie to me. In that case, maybe there's another explanation for the distinct lack of blood. Also, there's this person here, too. Remember her, Mafia? This is amazing. Just feel the power of science. She's also back. Emma! Yep, it's good old Emma. Younger Emma. It's the silhouette of the killer with his gun at the ready. Kay, is it not possible to recreate the face of the killer? Well, I can't exactly input what we don't know into Little Thief. She has a point. Yeah, also, look at all this stuff going on here. All this magical mumbo-jumbo. Victim was kidnapper? Why is there no blood? I'm not sure we can examine anything else. Oh, maybe this. Looks like they broke the stage down. I guess this means they're done for the day. Or maybe it's because a different show is scheduled to start its run tomorrow. Crazy stuff, huh, guys? I guess that's it. Victim was kidnapper. Why is there no blood? Stage was packed up. The victim was killed here, but why is there no blood? There must be some explanation for this contradiction. Perhaps I should go over all the information I've gathered one more time. Alright, let's save the game. Victim was kidnapper. Was the victim in a costume? Okay, the victim was in a costume. Is it not possible that the victim was wearing a costume? So you really think that Mr. Deacon was one of the kidnappers? I think we can reasonably assume that there's a very good chance he was. And if he was shot while he was inside one of those stolen costumes, then Mr. Deacon's blood would be inside the costume instead of on the ground. Precisely. Now if only we could prove that the victim was wearing a costume, you'd think it'd be pretty easy if we could find some footprints. But if the problem is finding them, since there doesn't seem to be any around... Footprints, huh? Wonder how we can go about finding some of those. Maybe Emma. This is amazing. Just feel the power of science. Emma, about that method you were talking about for finding footprints. Ah, finally my expert knowledge in forensics is needed. Yes, well, can you detect and trace even partial footprints? Leave it to me. My cutting-edge detection kit can find anything. Very well. If you could please analyze the footprints in this area. Okay, stand by now and witness the power of science at work. Yeah, Kay's little device was causing that, by the way. The green stuff going on, Mafia. It was all done by Kay's weird little device thing. Hey, I found something. Look, right here. I don't see anything. Oh, that's right. Here, put these special glasses on, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, these footprints here were definitely left by a badger costume. Judging by the way the prints are layered, those seem to be the newest. Then we can conclude that the victim was definitely wearing a costume at this time. Super cool. Oh yeah. You haven't seen nothing yet, Mafia. Ha 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 ha. Okay, in that case I'll update Little Thief's simulation parameters. I can't wait to see what we find out from this new info. Yay! So the victim was wearing a costume when he died. And with that, we should be one step closer to the truth, right? I see the recreation has changed in accordance with the new information. We may be closer, but now something else has caught my attention. What do you want? Your testimony, naturally. I'd like to hear it one more time, if you please. Mafia, we're cross-examining, Miss Solbag again. I came to the stadium to take a short break, and I was resting. I happened to glance over and saw two men facing each other in that area. Suddenly, there was a loud gunshot, and the person who was shot fell to the ground. It was very terrifying. A very terrifying experience, let me tell you. So, does this mean that Miss Solbag's testimony had a contradiction in it? Yes, and I believe our best course of action is to compare it with your recreation. See? I just knew the Little Thief would be of help. Now let's see if we can pull more info from Miss Solbag and to put into the recreation. For that we must first find the contradiction in her testimony. I came to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and I saw two men facing each other in that area. Two men, huh? Well, how would the victim of two men in the victim's costume? Objection! Two men? How did you know the gender of the two people involved? Seeing as how the victim was wearing a costume at the time. Furthermore, I have another matter I'd like to inquire about. I'd very much like to know why you failed to mention the costume in your testimony. Wah! I'm beginning to doubt if you really witnessed the murder at all. But I'm telling you, I really did see it. I saw it with my very own eyes. From a seat in the second tier. The second tier? Hey, didn't you say you saw it right in front of you earlier? That was, I was using the phrase in the metaphorical sense. I see our witness still has a screw loose in the metaphorical sense. The cushy seats in the second tier are reserved for hotspot VIPs, which is exactly why I go there every now and again to take a nap. I can't see how you could have gotten a good look from there. It's so high up. Were you able to see even the victim's costume from way up there? Well, I know I saw two people, but I couldn't really see what they looked like because they were in the stage's shadow. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, Not when I was young. People would call me a good... not mean the flesh, I may move, but I'm not easy. It was good to middle eyes. Let's return to our investigation, shall we, Kay? You got it. She's still a big pain in the butt, huh? Big pain in the booty, am I right? This new silhouette of the victim is in a costume. The silhouettes can change depending on the information I input. A Little Thief can recreate more than just people, so I investigate away. We may even find more info with which to make a more accurate sim. Alright, sounds like a plan. Whoops, it's a silhouette of the killer, not possible. Yeah, I know. This is amazing, just feel the power of science. Thanks to you, I'm able to proceed with my investigation once again. Thank you. It was nothing. I'm just glad that science and I could be of service. Pretty amazing how we could see the footprints. So what's the secret behind that thing? Oh, you want to know? Here, you can read the manual. Aha, very interesting. So if I do this, I can avoid leaving footprints. She can't seriously be trying to use the information to her advantages as a thief. Wait. Wait. So what do we got? Stage was packed up in the shadow of the stage. If that woman's testimony is to be believed, the murder occurred before the stage was broken down. Do you want me to input that bit of info into Little Thief? Yes, if you please. Okay. Wait a minute. Something's a little bit off here, guys. There is clearly a contradiction here. Please stop stealing my lines. Oh, come on, it wasn't that hard to see it coming, even for a layman like me. Suppose in any case it's not possible for the killer to have stood here in that way, because there was a very real stage set up in this spot at the time. Yeah, I told you I got it. Do you feel the need to explain everything? Yes, well, in any case, we still need to resolve this unusual situation. Isn't it obvious? The killer was on top of the stage naturally. Right, Miss Oldbag? Yes, I remember now. The killer was standing on top of the stage. See? Now let me update the info into the simulation. Yay! Well, well, what do we have here? A bunch of hooligans running amok, I see. Oh, you haven't seen this person yet, I don't think, Mafia. Agent Lang, how nice of you to join us. Well, I can't have you going around messing up my crime scenes. Agent Lang, we've discovered that the real scene of the murder is here. The stadium. I see. Thanks. For what? I'm just trying to show you my appreciation for all the time you saved me. Who knew that such a strange little toy could recreate a crime scene like that? Little Thief is not a toy. You know how Phoenix Wright, Miles was Phoenix Wright's big rival? Agent Lang here is Edgeworth's big rival. He's also, the Interpol agent. You know that Interpol agent Franziska mentioned? There he is. You two. Sir. Oh. Saw a familiar sign in the background. And there you have it. You see, big boys like me don't need silly toys, little girl. Now this is a recreation. So what? You still intend to assert that Officer Meekins is the killer? Of course. Even knowing that the crime took place here doesn't let him off the hook. Give me a second. Okay. This is the real scene of the crime. Officer Meekins lay in wait for the victim on top of the stage, and when the victim finally showed, he shot him from on high. That's the truth your little recreation showed. How far will you go to accuse Officer Meekins of the crime? He's the most likely suspect who we've got, especially given the situation with his gun. Well, even if he is the killer, at least my recreation was on the mark. You see, thank you for understanding, my little crow girl. Grr, I'm not some common crow. I'm the Yatagarasu, the Raven of Legend. Unfortunately, your conclusion is yet to be tested, so let's see how well it holds up. Rebuttal. This is the real scene of the crime. Hold it! Looks like we found the real crime scene first. Ha! Brag all you want, but we don't have all that free time, unlike the two of you. You know what you remind me of? A dog licking his wounds as he whimpers home. Well, I guess I should be thankful for all the time you saved me. CZ. That's how we say thanks in my country. You're welcome. Hope he realizes we didn't do all this for him. But I'm here now, so I'll be taking over. As I was saying, this is where the crime took place. Officer Meekins lay in wait for the victim on top of the stage. Hold it! Trying to beat the Elite Four and Cynthia. Keep on level grinding, Blue Thunder. You can do it. Lying in wait. How did Officer Meekins even know the victim was going to come here? Simple. He was investigating the kidnappers, right? And while he was doing so, he came to understand the victim, Mr. Deacon's movements. Heh, and why would the good officer want to ambush and kill a kidnapper? You mean his motive? Who knows, and who cares? You can find that out for yourself when you talk to him in jail. You have no respect for the order of law? Don't get me wrong, but I need more than there's no motive to convince me otherwise. You're welcome, Blue Thunder. He's right. The lack of a motive is rather weak argument in itself, so the officer lay in wait on top of the stage. And when the victim finally showed up, he shot him from on high. This game is awesome. It is. I love it. So you agree with how our recreation turned out? Like I said, I'm grateful that you were able to save me some time. Alright, we still don't know why he chose to wait on top of the stage. Who cares? Maybe he wanted to become the Blue Badger. Who's to say he didn't see the stage and decided to put on a Badger stage show of his own? Or maybe there's a completely different reason? What does it matter? It still doesn't change the fact that Officer Meekins stood up on the stage and shot the victim on the ground below. That's the truth that your little recreation showed. Hold it! Love to catch up with the anime show? You should. Do it! So you honestly believe that what you're saying is what really occurred? Hey, you're the ones who came up with this scenario. Are you saying you doubt yourselves? Nah, touché. Fortunately, Agent Lang's conclusion do not contradict with our recreation. Then does that mean it all went down just as he says? No, not quite. I wonder if what we had recreated earlier was the whole truth. Real scene of the crime, Officer Leakins has shot him on high. You're on Season 1. Ooh, nice. What would it be, guys? What would it be? Murder notes, maybe? I'm terribly sorry, Agent Lang. I should have warned you that our recreation is incomplete. You cut in quite unexpectedly, after all. What's that supposed to mean? You said that the victim was shot by a killer from up above, correct? I hate to break it to you, but that's not possible. Huh? Why not? Recall Mr. Deacon's body, specifically where the gunshot wounds were located. Actually, I didn't get that good of a look. Oh? Well then. The bullet entered Mr. Deacon in his abdominal region and exited his right shoulder. This is the more consistent with an angled shot from beneath the victim. Gah. Then, yes, our recreation had the victim being shot at an angle from above. A clear contradiction. You're discounting your own conclusions? No, this one point is the only flaw. This was the mistake parameter in our recreation. Both of their locations. Yes, the locations of the killer and the victim were wrong. Going to start with episode 1 of season 1. Good. Smart, idea, Blue Thunder. Oh, I get it. I see what you're trying to say. I believe the killer and the victim were standing opposite to what we initially thought. It was the victim who was on top of the stage as he was being shot by the killer. If this is what happened, it also explained the positioning of the gunshot wounds. But then, what about the footsteps? Since footprints don't lie, we can assume then that the killer also wore a costume. Okay, I'll try to use that data instead. Well, judging by the fact that both the killer and the victim were wearing costumes, I'd say it was a killing between the two kidnappers. That would be the most natural conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Agent Lang? Well done, Mr. Prosecutor. But that alone doesn't clear Officer Meekins of the crime. Alright, another bit of proof. I ask that you take another good look at the tire marks over there. The 3 marks are indicative of the Blue Badger mobile. The guy in blue got? Yes, he did. He got alright. That story Officer Meekins told about that shop on the wheels was getting stolen was just a lie. He drove the Blue Badger mobile here and committed the murder. Then he used the car to move the body to the garage in the Wild Wild West area. You believe he moved the body with the car? That's right. It was Officer Meekins himself who pointed us to the way he did it. The 3 tired tread marks are very telling. However, is the Blue Badger mobile the only thing capable of creating such a pattern? Right. 3 marks are indicated of the Blue Badger mobile. Poor blue guy. I know. Poor blue bro. Blue Badger mobile!
Objection!
Sorry, Agent Lang, but that's an impossible tale. And why is that? Those tire marks could not have been left by Officer Meekins' Blue Badger mobile. One look at the car would have told you so. What proof is that the Blue Badger mobile had never been to the stadium? It's none other than... these lovely tires. You see them?
Take that!
Take a good look at the tires. There's not a single dollop of mud to be found on it. Nah. If the car had come to the backstage area and left those tire tracks, then the lack of mud on these tires stands out as very peculiar indeed. Then how do you explain the tire tracks, genius? Hey, I got it. What about Miss Oldbags' Pink Badger mobile? Don't be ridiculous. I was sleeping the entire time in the second-tier seats. Indeed, I believe we can rule her out as someone related to the crime. However, there is yet one more roving store, as I recall. Oh. You mean the Proto Badger? That's right. There was one more parking space inside that garage, and it proves the existence of a Proto Badger mobile. Agent Lang, I suggest you find this Proto Badger mobile post-haste. There must still be some sort of incriminating evidence in it. Nah. Heh. Hey, did you hear something? Yep, there's a Blue Badger mobile. Hell... Oh? Who's this? Help me. Are you alright? Well, this is something. Looks like we found our kidnapping victim. Where were you all this time? Wild West with kidnappers. He was in the room next to the one I was held in? Ran away using underground and got lost. The kidnappers... What is it? I can't understand what you're trying to say. The kidnappers escaped wearing costumes. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't see their faces, but one was a woman. A woman? Quite an important piece of testimony. Hey, what are you guys doing? Stop standing there and get your cops on this already. I'll even let you guys have what the kid said just now. Consider it a gift. Now, are you going to get out of my crime scene, or am I going to have to get rough? Again? You're nothing but a bully. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go. Oh, no, not you. You're a very important witness for my crime. Hope you're not next. Hope not. I'm not about to let you get away that easily. Don't count on me to testify, because I won't, not for you. That's right, I won't either. You hear me, you young whippersnapper? Hey, calm down. There's no need for all this hostility. I just want to take a statement from each of you. I'm not going to rough either of you up. I give you my word. Come now, fair maidens. What do you say? Will you cooperate? Fair maidens? My, you little rascal. You sure know the way into a woman's heart. Langzy says, the passage of time is but a fleeting moment, and a lady is young forever. Trying to outdo my edgy poo with your fancy smanchy sayings. Let's get this over with. So we're clear, I'm only interested in giving you my statement. Sure, just as soon as Mr. Prosecutor leaves us be. Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth. Might be the next victim because your name is Blue without the E. So you could be next. Let's hope not, huh? Oof. Crazy stuff, guys. So the kidnappee has been found. The person that was kidnapped has been found, guys. Looks like we got the boot again. With Lance safe, the focus of the investigation will shift solely onto the murder. You mean the infight between the kidnappers? Hang on a minute. Okay. You mean the infighting between the kidnappers? Yes, and also the identity of the remaining kidnapper. Miles, my boy. Tell me it's true. Tell me that you've really found my boy. Yes, Mr. Amano. We found him earlier in the stadium. Then my little Lance is unhurt? He's not exactly the picture of perfect health, but his life is not in danger. Oh, you haven't seen this person either yet, Mafia. This is, Lance's GF, shall we say. He's being questioned right now by Agent Lang. Poor Lance. It must have been so horrible for him. Locked up like a sob. Also, sheesh, I know, right? I'm gonna go this way real quick. What's going on here? This man looks suspiciously like the precinct. Look at the lovely smile on the blue badger's face. Ah, it's looking at me! Make it stop! It's scary! It's alright, dear. Want to know something? I was the one who created the blue badger. See, look at his eyes. Don't they look just like Daddy's? It's scary! It's scary because they do look like yours, Daddy! Well, that was rather depressing. I think I'd better leave the two of them alone. The Blue Badger's Daddy awarded. Why is there a blue badger here too? Are you deathly allergic to him or something? It's not that. It's more of the half smile on his face. It's really unsettling. She's disturbed by the half smile? I'm more disturbed by its movements and how it manages to obstruct an investigation. Alright, what else does this place have? Oh, wait a minute. Those people look very familiar, guys. Yes. These three look very, very familiar, everyone. Huh. Probably my imagination. Hey. Who's this? It is Pilchard. Hey, Wright, wanna be in my game? No, suit yourself. Poor Phoenix Wright. And Maya and Pearl reduced to in the background there. How have you been today? It's good to see ya. How's life treating ya? They say that couples who cross this bridge together will find happiness. Or so the Gatewater Land pamphlet says. But you'd think that they'd already be happy because they were all about able to come together. Logistics aside, I wonder who came up with this tale and when. The bridge doesn't look old enough to be the stuff of legends. Well, some things are better left uninvestigated, don't you think? Ignorance is bliss. Alright, we're out of here, guys. Good enough? I'm glad you're doing good. Yeah, we're right in the middle of this game of Case 3, as you can see. And I'm enjoying playing this game again. It's good. Miles, my boy, I can't thank you enough. It was nothing. I'm still in shock over what happened to Oliver, but I have to say I'm relieved that Lance is alright. Oh, that's right. I mustn't forget to pass this on to Lance as soon as the police are finished with him. A letter? A letter? The way Lance is being chased about after by women reminds me of someone I know. I almost can't believe they received yet another love letter, you know? Here, take a look for yourself. Isn't this a breach of confidentiality? My dear Lance Amano, may I come see you again? Your beloved Viola. Tender Lender Loan Company. Doesn't that sound familiar, Mafia Babe? Viola and Tender Lender? Oh, hey, let me see. That's really weird. It's from a loan company, Tender Lender. Looks more like a collection bill to me. Cadaverini time. Uh-oh. Not anything but them. Not the Cadaverinis. Well, hi there. Lance Amano. He loves me not. He loves me not. Aw, that's the 12th one. No, you can't give up, Lauren. Just one more try. Excuse me, but I can't help but feel sorry for all the flowers you've gone through. I suppose if they were me, then blush. I believe you said that you are Lance's girlfriend when we first met, correct? Yes, I am, but oh, it's not like we both think of each other as lovers. But he did give me this ring, so I guess we're not just friends either? I mean, because this isn't just any ordinary ring. It tastes so sweet when you lick it. Lauren Lollipops? Oh my gosh. The puns. I didn't even think about that when I first played this game, or like ever. Oh, it's so wonderful. You mean to tell me that he gave you a lollipop ring? I haven't had a ring pop in forever. I should get one again sometime. So which is it? Have you guys not decided if you're going out, or is it just one-sided? Decided? Shouldn't the parties involved naturally just know? My father used to work for Mr. Amano, and so Lance and I grew up together. Gasp! I said it out loud! I don't see how that's anything to be embarrassed about. So your father was an employee of the Amano group. What did he do? I heard his job was to fly around the world on Pegasus. Pegasus? Oh, Pegasus was the name of the airplane. The airplane belonged to the company. You had me there for a second. But now, it's all changed. My father, he isn't around anymore. Oh, I see. Q soap opera theme. Oh, you drama queen, am I right? About 10 years ago, he rode in Pegasus off to somewhere and never returned. Riding Pegasus to whereabouts unknown sounds like the stuff legends are made of. It's been so long, I don't think I'd recognize him if we were to ever meet again. I'm sorry, Lauren, but I won't give in to the sadness. I have to live. Yes, live, Lauren, live. About the case. About this incident. Incident? But isn't the kidnapping already over and dealt with? I've been here the whole time, so I'm afraid I don't know much about any other incident. How did you come to know that Lance had been kidnapped? Oh, that's because of my woman's intuition. You base everything on that? I know everything when it comes to my Lance. It's really strange. It really must be destiny. Blush. Oh, she's starting to fantasizing again. So what are you going to do now, Mr. Edgeworth? We already established that there's a good chance that the killer is the other kidnapper. It's my duty to figure out who this other person is. I believe there is one location that might hold a clue or two. No idea, to be honest. The obvious location is the kidnapper's hideout. But we're still not allowed in, remember? Agent Lang and his men should be done with this area. In that case, there's no harm in asking that officer over there to let us in. Alright, let me in. What do you have to report? Sir, nothing unusual or out of the ordinary, sir. Where have I heard such redundancy before? Is it possible for you to let us take a look around inside? Sir, roger, sir. That was surprisingly hassle-free. Are you certain? Didn't Agent Lang order you not to allow me in? Sir, that's true, sir, but Detective Gumshoe asked me personally to let you in, sir, and I couldn't refuse a request from him. Wow, looks like Detective Gumshoe has a following. Furthermore, I was asked to give this document to you, sir. What is this? Ooh, a man in this picture. Isn't that Mr. Oliver Deacon? Pen E. Dent. From Pen E. Dent Prison. Good. Very good. But the name here says Colin Devore. That's the same name as the one on the back of the pennet. It appears that Colin Devore was his real name. What's this? He was convicted in a case 10 years ago and sent to prison. What? Then what was he doing here? Apparently he broke out of jail and then just vanished. He must have become Oliver Deacon to cover up the fact that he was an escaped felon. Oh dear. Now I'm not sure what's going on anymore. Is there some sort of link between the victim's past and this current case? These police documents are rather detailed. I should take the time to give them a thorough read eventually. It's fine. Let's focus on one thing at a time, starting with the kidnapper's hideout. Yeah, I agree. We should investigate first, think later. More than thinking things through, I think you should try remembering things first. Now then, if you could please unlock the door, officer. It was locked up until a little while ago, but since then the door's been wide open, sir. Not sure I follow what it is you're saying. Care to explain in more detail? Sir, the door was locked down tight when they went to check out the room. So they got about 10 officers to help out and break the door down, sir. I see. I guess that means I get Agent Lang's leftovers. Well, let's see what we find. So who do you guys think did it, by the way? Who do you guys think is the murderer? Those that already know don't say anything, of course. So this is where the kidnappers planned their foul deed. While you were tied up for a while in the room next door. Hee hee. Kate, please, must you bring that up again? Now then, down to business. There might still be some clues left in this room. Let's try to find out what we can of the other kidnapper's identity. Hey, Stars Over Hyrule! How you doing today? Welcome to the stream. The door is thoroughly broken thanks to the police who forced it open. Worse until I've inspected every single piece of stuff. I am doing good, Stars. Just another day of solving crimes and stuff, am I right? And we're gonna solve this one for sure. It looks like a sword, a broken sword. Strange, why would it be broken like that? It was you? Blue Thunder did it. It's always Angel Love that does it, but now it's Blue Thunder? I can't even. Swords don't usually break on their own. That's true. Alright then, let's think about it this way. Maybe it broke when someone was trying to use it for or on something. Hypotheticals aren't going to get us anywhere. Perhaps we should think more on this later. We have a broken door. Thank you for the lurk. Oh yeah, Mafia must have been lurking. I gotcha. You were lurking in her chat rooms, not mine. I mean, you were, but... Hey, Captain Chips. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. Yep, I did not expect that. Thank you for 36 months. Holy crap, that's a very long time. I'm surprised you still did it. Did you have your job interview yet? And did you get it? I hope you got it. Yes, she was. Also, you weren't live. Yeah, I could have been, though. But thank you! Had it up this morning for no word till Monday. Okay. My fingers are crossed for ya. That doorknob handle thingy is looking pretty beat up. I suppose that's what happens when 10 officers break their way in with brute force. Hey, that's odd. The lock on this is completely fine. Look, not a single dent. But how was that possible after what that officer told us? Yeah, if the lock had been in use when the door was busted down, then the lock itself could be completely wrecked. So the lock on the door leading to the outside is undamaged. How can that be? Barrels. Oh, they have barrels just like these outside. Yes, and? Well, I know I already asked you when we were out there, but if these were real, what would you put them in? There's an expectant gleam in her eyes that I'm about to dash. You didn't miss too much, Captain Chips. We found maybe the crime scene, and the person that was kidnapped has appeared. Has made an appearance, all tired and worn out and stuff. The panel that hid the entrance to the underground is propped up and wide open. Be careful of where you step, Kay. I only fell into the other opening once, you know? And some more people returned, let's just say. More people have returned. Hey, there's a trapdoor in this room, too. It's not a trapdoor, it's an entrance to an underground passage. Kay, I know that. The door leading to the outside world was locked, so Lance must have escaped his prison through here. This must be where they disposed of old and worn-out costumes. That's so sad. It would seem that they throw the costumes away in pieces. Poor Badger. Unused folding chairs lean against the wall in their folded state. Wow! Whoever lined these up did it perfectly. They're not even a single hair off. I'd feel bad using these because it'd feel like stealing the perfection away. Suspect it's more like you wouldn't want to be the one to put them away. Watch out, Mr. Edgeworth! It's a broken mirror. It probably came from the haunted house. Why is this here? Are they planning to repair it? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. If you want to see the, well, maybe we'll see them again at a different time. If we don't see them again, I'll show you them. Cheap styrofoam cups. Looks like only 3 cups were used. Ooh, 3 cups. Ha 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 ha. Folding chairs, and by the looks of it, they were probably used by the kidnappers. There are 3 chairs set up around the table. We're getting a lot of logics, guys. Whoops, there's nothing unusual here. Dummy. Huh? I wonder what this key is to. You got me? It reminds me of the key we found in the other room. That's it. This must be the key for one of those trapdoors. It wasn't a trapdoor. You only call it one because you quite literally jumped into it. Hey, but isn't that what you're supposed to do when you see one? I am not having this conversation with you. A poster of Gatewaterland is stuck on this wall. Intriguing, fun, prestige Gatewaterland has it all, and it's waiting for you. It's not especially catchy, is it? Alright, there's the door. I guess that's it. Beyond this door is where the kidnappers held you after getting the jump on you. Must you keep reminding me? But it's the room where I got to see your awesome new face. You didn't need to remind me of that mortifying moment either. Alright, let's do a little bit of a save. And let's do some logics, guys. Let's see. Folding chairs. 3 cups. The common denominator between the cups and the folding chairs is the number 3. Speaking of which, the number of missing costumes is also 3. Wait, but I thought there were only 2 kidnappers. Indeed, something isn't adding up, literally. Is it possible there's a 3rd kidnapper that Lance didn't see? Ha 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 ha. The door leading outside. Broken prop sword. Please connect! It's a bit strange that the police had to force their way into an unlocked room. One look at the pristine door lock, and anyone can see that it was not in use at the time. But the policeman outside said that it took 10 men to get it open. A door that was locked tight despite it being not locked at all. It can only be because of this. Oh, you mean... Yes, it was used to jam the door. Here, take a look at the door handle. Do you see how the handle is completely destroyed? So that's how the sword broke. I thought that we might uncover the true identity of the kidnappers, but instead we only uncovered more questions than that needs to be answered. Oh! Ah! What is it? Well, well, Mr. Edgeworth, am I correct? What are you doing suddenly popping out of the secret entrance like that? This is an underground passage used by staff members, sir. We Badgers also make use of it in our duties. Look, why don't you get out of there first, and then we'll talk, okay? I beg your pardon, miss. Proto Badger, get! Alright, only 1 more to go. What are you getting all excited about? Gasp! Did you not forget? The photo rally. Duh! See? Look! Now all I have to do is get a picture of the Bad Badger and I'm done. Ah, yes, I vaguely recall a contest of something, or something of that sort. What? It's gone! But where did it go? What's happened? What's wrong? A Bad Badger costume is missing, sir. Oh, is that all? Well, it's missing because the kidnapper stole it. I heard about how they were stolen, but they said that only 3 of the costumes had been taken. What? Is he saying that more than 3 of them are gone? Mr. Proto Badger, please tell me a little more about these costumes you use. Can you mention a funny line you can get now? If you want to tell me how to get the funny line, I can. Or you can. Should I talk to someone or present a certain thing? If it's something I can't do now, then yeah, I guess you can say. What did you mean by a Bad Badger costume is missing? Talk to Mr. Proto Badger again. Okay. So right now, right? Like what I'm doing now? Why? Just what I said, sir. We are 1 Bad Badger short. Counting the spares, we have 2 of each costume on hand at all times. Okay, So, because one of them is walking around in the park, the other should be in that room. Actually, both of them should be in that room. Huh? What do you mean? Normally, we don't use the Bad Badger costumes. In fact, we only use them during a certain event at the set time each day. You can guess who is under the mask, hee. He is saying sir a lot. And I only remember one person in the Phoenix Wright thing that kept saying sir. It's the stage show where the Bad Badger wreaks havoc around the park, and the other badgers must work together to apprehend him, sir. I'm speechless that such a show exists. Well, sir, I was trying to explain to you the only time we use that costume. That doesn't make it near impossible to take a picture of the Bad Badger. Personally, I can't believe that it's this close to showtime and there's no costume. Oh dear, what am I to do, sir? All this basically means is that the kidnapper stole 4 costumes in total. Then, are you saying that there are 4 kidnappers? No, I don't think that's very likely. Oh? Recall the costumes for a minute. The stolen ones, you mean? What proves that the 4th kidnapper does not exist? It's the pink, right? So, I'm gonna take a guess and say that the person in the Proto-Badger thing is, the bellboy. You know the bellboy, right? Is it the bellboy?
Take that!
If you had 4 people and you had wanted to steal a 4th costume, wouldn't you naturally go for the full set and steal a pink badger costume instead? Yeah, that makes sense. And yet the kidnappers decided to steal another Bad Badger. I believe the culprits needed 2 Bad Badger costumes, but the question is, why? I was wondering if you don't mind, Mr. Proto-Badger, how did you know my name? You're pretty famous, sir. I would think the most people would know who you are. Famous? Me? Absolutely, sir. You were always very active in the community, I hear. Wow, I didn't know you were such a celebrity, Mr. Edgeworth. I feel like I've met this person before. Maybe it's just my imagination. Absolutely. Yep, it's the bellboy. The bellboy from the second case. Only one person says that. Only one. Absolutely. Sadly, he doesn't take his hood off and we can't see, but that's funny though. Alright. Boom! Boom! Bada boom! The second Bad Badger costume, I believe it may be closer at hand than we think. Didn't he take his hood off earlier in the case? No, that was Officer Meekins. This is the Proto-Badger, a completely different person. What do you mean? This costume in the trash. Wouldn't you say that it's wearing some very telltale pants? Hey, you're right. Let's get it out of there and take a look. As I suspected, it's a Bad Badger costume. Well, minus the head. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. It's torn. Okay? Torn. It's torn. Look, its hand is hurt. It looks more like something was ripped off of it. Ha ha ha. I wonder why this Bad Badger costume's right hand is torn up like that. Maybe it's a flesh wound from the fight with the Blue Badger. I always knew the Blue Badger was one ferocious beast, so now I doubt that even real badgers are as bloodthirsty as that, Kay. I mean, you don't know. Alright, I better save again in case I'm wrong. Alright, deduce. Yeah. This. I believe what we have here is an inconsistency. Huh? Between what? Look carefully. Our costume is not holding something in his right hand that it should be. Oh, the gun! Precisely. The Bad Badger was designed to always hold a gun in his right hand. However, you there, did you remove the gun from this Bad Badger's right hand? No, I did not, sir. The gun is supposed to be securely attached to the costume. As I thought, the rip itself confirms my hypothesis, and the gun was forcibly removed. Mr. Proto-Badger, the gun is, of course, not a functioning weapon, correct? Absolutely not, sir. Just a model gun. However, it can fire blanks. We need to use them for the stage show. It seems that our kidnappers also had a need for the model gun, my dear costume friend. Yay! Woo! I think we're about done with this room. So, what's next? Well, we found a few answers, but there are still a few things left that we have to ask a certain person about. Let's go, Kay. Let's flip and go, Kay. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. You gotta hurry, sir. Come on. What is it, Detective? They found a Blue Badger costume down in the front of the main gate, sir. In fact, if a gun can fire blanks, it can also fire actual bullets. Ooh. What? Isn't that what one of the kidnappers was wearing? Bingo. That's why you've gotta come to the main gate with me right now. If we hurry, we might still be able to get there before the Wolf Boy does, sir. Alright, let's make haste to the main gate. To be continued, mother. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe? A blank is not a function of the gun that fires it. A blank is a bullet without the actual lead. Like air, right? Like that one Animu person that could fire air bullets, right? Just on the other side of the fountain, sir. Was it out here in the open all along? No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. We moved it out in here in order to examine it more thoroughly. Then let's get down to it. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Oh, you haven't seen this yet, Captain Chips? Oh, they're gone. Oh, man. Oh, they're not there anymore. There was a familiar person. There were 3 people in a boat in the background, just to let you know. A familiar guy in blue, a girl in purple, and a smaller girl in pink. I'll let you decide who they were. What do we have here? Oh, it's another Pednet. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? Phoenix! Not just Phoenix. But yes, little cameo. And hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver too. Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon. Is it possible that these 2... Hold it right there. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? I don't think they'll show him, so I'll just show you. The 2 people that were seen that you missed are Emma Skye. You remember Emma Skye, right? And her. Yep, her. A pendant, huh? This is a very decisive piece of evidence. Emma? What the hell, man? Yep, Emma and Wendy. How can you tell? Look here and read off what you see. Lauren. Hey, it's a name that's carved on this. Oh my god, Miss Oldbag again. Yep. Aha, we have you now, Miss Kidnapper. No, you don't understand. Lolly, I can't believe you were one of my kidnappers. Lance! You're kidding. Miss Pops was one of the kidnappers? Yes. It was me. I held Lance hostage. So Miss Pops is one of the kidnappers. But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved or over. Hey guys, case closed. Get the car ready, and I mean the special one for this young lady. Heh, again, Mr. Prosecutor? What is it this time? Are you proposing that Miss Pops is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect. We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Your country's police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are. Who are you calling a sham? The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. So Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges, I see. And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? Miss Pops, did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him. I can't believe that. Ha 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 ha. Thanks for that confession. Well, we have a murderer, guys. The end. Case closed. Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed. Look at you so sure of yourself. We got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? Miss Lauren Pops. Yes? I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that has happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder. But why? I'm a kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough? Uh-oh. She's gonna use her scissors to cut her hair. It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that is the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't? I've had a change of heart. I think I'd enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear about all the evil deeds you committed today. Mrs. Pop's confession. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Amano would pay anything to get his son back after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. Oh yeah, Captain Chips, here's another familiar thing here that I'll show you super quick. It's a love letter sent to Lance. It says, "My dear Lance Amano, may I come see you again? Your beloved Viola." From the Tender Lender Loan Company. Does that sound familiar to you? Anyway. At least you have the guts to admit when you're what you've done. I can at least respect that much. Miss Pops, is what you said really the truth? Yes, it is. If that is the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth, because there's something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession. Oh gods, this game is just a massive stick of references to the first 3 games. Yeah, I'll say that much. Yeah. The one who came up with the kidnapping was the Mr. Deacon, enriched by holding Lance hostage, would pay anything to get his son back after all. Everything was going according to the plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and he tried to kill me.
Hold it!
Why do you think he did? I have no idea, but maybe he had planned on doing so from the very beginning. Miss Pops. Wait, Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Pops from the very beginning? Was that ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? I think yes. I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely. Huh? I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been capable of killing you. But why? We were total strangers. It's not uncommon for people to kill each other over money. Miss Pops, you really are clueless, aren't you? What do you mean? You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. But I do know, and I can show you with this piece of evidence. This proves that Mr. Deacon wouldn't bring himself to kill Mrs. Pops. Right here.
Take that!
Why are you showing this to me? So what about the pendant? This pair of wings, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are.
Take that!
These 2 pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree? Hey, you're right. They're the same color, and they're even made of the same material. I believe that these 2 pendants are actually one. Eh? Shall we give it a try? Wow, it's totally Pegasus. But why? Why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's? You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be. What? No, that can't be. So the two make a set. Heh, just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything. You like imagination in it, Agent Lang. Very well, I'll show you with this evidence. This is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus's, thing. It is the dossier. Whereabouts unknown after his escape from Pen-y-Dent prison. Stole a gun from a guard. He might head for where his wife and solo daughter are. Despite our surveillance, he has yet to show up.
Take that!
Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Devore, the name that is etched on the horse pendant. What? An alias? I suppose he had to hide the fact that he was a felon somehow in order to live. And it makes sense, given what is written in Mr. Devore's dossier. What I really wanted to point out was this. This specific section is what reveals the true meaning behind those pendants. Sole daughter.
Take that!
Mr. Devore had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pops. That's a lie! That person was not my father! He couldn't come out and tell you he was your father because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot? Ha 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 ha! What is so funny, Agent Lang? You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you? What are you trying to say? You're thinking as much too innocent. After all, I've thought of another possibility. Is that so? Well, let's hear it. I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter, but isn't the possibility that they both knew the fact? It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amano, and the two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say my scenario was perfectly probable as well? So this is his version of how things might have been. You don't have any proof that either one didn't know of their true relationship, right? You mean they knowingly committed the kidnapping as father and daughter? That's right, as one really rotten family. Is that really what happened? I'd better take a long, hard look at the evidence. Save the game. Okay. I need to present the... Here.
Objection!
Sorry, it took me a while. The kidnapping wasn't planned by just two people alone. And what kind of proof do you have of that? Quite simply, there were 3 kidnappers. 3? 4 costumes were stolen from the Wild Wild West area's back room. We found one of them is in the kidnapper's hideout, but as for the other 3, we can assume they were being worn by 3 different people. We also found the set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that had been used in the hideout. It all clearly points to a 3-man group, and I believe this 3rd person is the real mastermind behind the kidnapping. Who? Who is the mastermind? I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping. Well, guys, this is gonna be unexpected. Who do you think was the mastermind behind the kidnapping? It was the security lady, obviously. Lauren Pops? No, I think the person that planned the kidnapping was the one who was kidnapped. Aunt Amano? Yes, this abduction was in fact schemed up by Lance himself. Recall what he said when he appeared before us. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't see their faces, but one was a woman. However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said. That's a twist. What a twist! But I know I only saw 2 people. This guy was being held hostage. It's possible he couldn't see all three of them. Yes, about where you were being held. I have my doubts about what happened then. Lance, would you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive? I really don't remember much anymore, honest. But if I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you? What a twist! I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room blindfolded the entire time, but the kidnapper suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could. Through the underground passageway, I presume. Are you okay? Sorry, I really didn't want to recall that horrible ordeal, but now you believe me, right? No, not quite yet. How could you not? Why do you look at me with icy daggers in your eyes? Because he's a prosecutor, and because they're all like that. I'll have you know, Agent Lang, a prosecutor's eyes are for discerning the truth. And should they be interpreted to be cruel at times, then so be it. Tch. There is a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push a little. Kidnapped. Show me the room. You're not disappeared around the time I heard rain falling. Going a stroke of luck alone. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could.
Hold it!
How did you manage to escape? I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked, which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. I remember our escape to be equally as hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it go unexamined. The door leading outside was locked tight, so I had to use the underground passageway. Is that so? Well, what about... Da-da! Da-da-da-da-da! You say that the door leading out was locked, but was it really? We're talking about the room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open, right, Shina? Yes, that's correct. Then take a look at this. What is that? A sword? It's not an exceptionally reliable one if it's broken like that. Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. It was simply held shut by this sword, which was used to jam the handle. Lance, even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why did you not just simply remove the sword and escape? Why didn't I? I was disoriented. Yes, that's it. I didn't notice it. As if I should accept such a bold-faced lie. You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like the victim. But you did not, in fact, possess the key to the door. That is why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison for your very own. You've been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way. And what would that be? A motive. What else? Do you honestly think that an uptight, upright, pure boy like him would hatch up a completely pointless scheme such as kidnapping himself? This proves that Lance did indeed have a motive to commit this crime. It's, none other than... the love letter.
Take that!
To put it simply, Lance had a very urgent need for money. This is hardly your typical love letter. It is in fact a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy had accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance? Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. It must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your own man. Own old man, huh? Alright, I give up. I've done it myself. Lance! It's over, Lolly. In this life, we really are bound to our fate after all. Captain Chips, do you see the pun in her name, by the way? Her nickname? Lolly Pops. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town, somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted us to be well off with that 1 million, but now the dream is over. Oh, Lance! Then you are giving yourself up? Yes, I had planned to run away from this world with my Lolly. Oh gods, that's classy. I know. I love it. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then He had to go and stab us in the back. He turned on you? Maybe he didn't want to split the ransom money. That's my guess. It happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside that room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Lolly left first in the Blue Badger costume. That would mean the person Officer Meekins saw was Miss Pops. But right then, the old man just had to wake up. I was careless, and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. Then Oliver put on the Bad Badger costume, took the suitcase with $1 million, and ran. I contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. I had no idea that they were related, so I thought that it could only end badly. I still don't believe it. That person was not my father. Because if he was, I just killed my own father. Lolly, then it really was you? Oh dear. Okay. That man was not my father. I mean, because at the stadium, there was a Bad Badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. But the Badger pointed his gun at me, aimed to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot, the other person crumpled to the ground, and I ran, scared for my life. I think the big picture's finally coming into focus, don't you? Lolly, forgive me. I didn't think it would turn into something so frightening. If only I could have protected you. So, Miss Pops, she shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was? What she says is true? Are you saying she's lying? But why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve? You would be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? What I mean is listen very carefully to her confession once more and you'll see. That man was not my father. I mean, because of the stadium, there was a Bad Badger, and he was bad. But the Badger pointed his gun at me, and then they went boom.
Hold it!
Boom, not boom. Were you able to clearly see the gun? Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, Father, why would you try to shoot me? Do you really think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't know. I don't want to believe it myself. But it's true. My father's left arm was raised with a gun in it. Pointed straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought. Miss Pops. Please calm down and take a deep breath. And then, would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time? Yes, of course. But that Badger pointed his gun in his left hand at me, aiming to shoot me dead. His left hand, huh? Can a person, who is right-handed shoot with his left hand?
Objection!
I mean, maybe he could, but would be kind of tough. I have here a dossier on your father. And according to this, your father was right-handed. Ah, then the person pointing a gun at you from atop the stage was not Mr. Deacon. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. The Bad Badger has a model gun attached to his right hand, which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun with was his left. Isn't it possible that it went down like that? Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Pops was saying? Then again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in court to catch it. Enough with the smugness, out with it already. Miss Pops told us earlier. There was a Bad Badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. According to you, the Bad Badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is that correct, Miss Pops? Yes, exactly. And I'm sure it was the Bad Badger. It had those huge sunglasses on its face. But if that's the case, I can see there's a huge contradiction. Yes, Miss Pops claimed to have seen the Bad Badger, and yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be wrong. It's the both are correct option. They are both correct. Impossible. That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction. Miss Pops' entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. But what if that Bad Badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? This proves that there was a way for the Bad Badger to freely use both of his hands. It is this.
Take that!
The costumes have two parts to them, a head and the body. Oh, I get it now. The head Miss Pops saw was probably really the head of the bad badger. However, is it not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger? A different badger? Yes, or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. The one Miss Pops saw was... Mr. Proto.
Take that!
What the heck is it? It's the Proto Badger. And yes, and it is the simple matter of process of elimination. Miss Pops was wearing the blue badger's costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the pink badger is of the wrong color, which would have been incredibly obvious. All that is left is the Proto Badger costume. Miss Pops, who was the one who wore the Proto Badger costume? That would be Lance.
Not so fast!
Are you saying what I think you are? That Lance Amano donned the bad badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon? On top of which, he plotted to shoot Miss Pops while wearing that hideous thing? The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that, a setup. And its purpose was to lead Miss Pops into believing she had committed murder. Standing there in front of Miss Pops and pretending to be the victim. It was all done so that she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why exactly would I have had to do all of that, huh? There is but one reason. Lance Amano, you are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What? No! That's slander. Take it back. You take it back right now. Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? I'm left-handed, but what does that have to do with anything? It depends. According to Miss Pops, her attacker held a gun in his left hand.
Not so fast!
Ha! Who is what-handed doesn't prove a thing. And besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the Proto Badger is bulletproof. One misfire and he would have found himself dead, right?
Objection!
Of course, logically, if he had been shot, he wouldn't be here with us. But I believe he had thought of that as well, and prepared accordingly. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure he wouldn't be hit by a bullet. The missing gun.
Take that!
We found one half of the Bad Badger costume in the hideout, a broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing, plus it was missing something. And that something is the model gun and the Bad Badger carries, which can fire blanks. What? Miss Pops, where's the gun you use now? I threw it away into the sea. That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was, although I believe that we can safely assume that it was the model gun in question. Prosecutor's badge? Oh, the prosecutor's badge shot it. Was the shooter. I gotcha. Hehehe. I've heard enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture. I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. However, I can say that the probability that I'm right is very high. Okay, let's pretend that you're right, and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? I don't know yet. Ha, I knew you were full of it. However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame. Please wait a second, it's simply not possible, because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance. She saw the victim in the state of being restrained? I came back to the hideout at long after the other two. By the time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the new room next door. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape. So Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right? We thought that it'd attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, as I was walking through the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone. Oliver managed to escape. He looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at the time. And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pops saw the victim with her own eyes, which means that the victim was still alive at the time. Wouldn't you agree? Why does that sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine it in more detail. Yep, her name is Lollipops. Isn't that great? I love the meme names in this game. They are the best. Tie Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door! You are sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw? Yes, I am certain of what I saw. Did you go into the other room to check? Lance said that it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Lance, he's such a kind soul. Then are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself? I checked through the slit in the door and that separates the two rooms. He had a Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. That just had to be Mr. Deacon. She saw a Bad Badger head. The captive had a Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure it was Mr. Deacon. Press. Okay.
Hold it!
Okay. So the tied up Mr. Deacon was still in his Bad Badger costume. Yes, and it would appear that she misread the whole situation. What now? Should I raise an objection? The person you saw was not the victim. What? Why not? I will tell you why not. With this. This, Miss Pops, shows us that the person you saw was not the victim. The Bad Badger's head.
Take that!
Miss Pops, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all. Huh? The person you actually saw was this person. You saw... Not Turnip Head. No Turnip Head this time. It was Miles Edgeworth. It was me. Huh? The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth? I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me even after I had handed over the ransom? It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right? Right. Nah, that's... You showed Miss Pops a person, namely me, with a Bad Badger's head on. And then made your costume escape together. Or so you pretended. Huh? What do you mean he pretended? Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the Bad Badger head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake person, with the prop sword, he then escaped via the passageway. Hold your tongue, boy. Don't you get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth. Tidal wave? We've heard a lot come out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and his subsequent detainment, all of that could have happened while you were out cold. That's right, you were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. Even if that were the case, Miss Pops would have still seen me tied to that beam. I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I didn't go into the next room. So I really have no idea if you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, it would have seemed like you can't prove a thing. Grr. Who said that? Please wait. Mr. Amano. Ho ho ho. Miles, my boy, it looks like you're really giving it your all. And Lance, it's not good to cause trouble for others. Dad! Let's see, you are the one in charge of the investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, but my son has been nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you. Did you notice Colin DeVore and Oliver Deacon are anagrams? Colin? What do you mean by that? You might need to explain a bit more. What's an anagram? Sorry, I'm a very stupid person. Oh, did you now? Is that what I think it is? It's the Bad Badger costume the victim was wearing, and a gun. I couldn't wait around for the police, so I went and found these in myself. It appears that they were disposed of in the sea. Is there no one in this country who actually obeys the law? Rearrange the letters in one name and you get the other one? Anagrams are words made from the same letters, so Oliver Deacon and Colin DeVore use the same letters shuffled in different orders. Isn't there no V in the name Colin though? Sorry, I'm so stupid. You might need to, like, display it out for me so I can see it. I'm sorry. Dumb Ultima. Stupid Ultima. There. Now. The V is in Devorey? Colin Devorey, Oliver Deacon. Oh, man. I might need it displayed, like, even more. I don't get this pun. Sorry. Never mind it. Please calm down. What the heck is this scrap of paper? This appears to be a letter from the Chief of Police. Please allow Mr. Amano complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says. What? The Chief of Police? What the? Just who does he think he is? The person who wields the highest authority in this area. Ho ho ho. There. Now. No real way to display that? Yeah, sorry. I don't know anagrams. I was never taught that in school, sad to say. Or if I did, I forgot all about them. Heh, I'm not a cop from this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country. Now. This wasn't meant to strong-arm you into anything, just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of the land. No big deal, it's just a common mystery clue thing. Still trying to think of, like, how it's an anagram. Like, the first letter of each name is something, or letters shuffled in different orders. Wouldn't there need to be, like, for Colin to be reshuffled, wouldn't it? I don't get it. Forget it. I'm never gonna understand, so forget it. Just forget it. I can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand, it doesn't matter who found the evidence. Its value remains unchanged. Ignore the space. Both names use the same letters total. So Colin and Oliver are the same letter count? Oliver Deacon? That's really stretching the puns. I still don't get it. Like, I don't see how, like, anyone would find a pun in that. Sorry, too stupid. I don't get it. So I guess never mind it. The caps spell out Colin, the lowercase spell Devorey. God, how could anyone figure that out? There's no way anyone, like the people who made the game only had to have pointed that out. Alright. No longer care. Thank you for letting me know. I don't understand it. Like cat and actor anagrams. Alright, no more anagram stuff, please. No more anagrams. I don't understand it. I heard he got the results back. I had a special forensics research lab, and I'm on good terms with They verified that the blood on the costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could find were yours, Lauren. What? You disappoint me, Miles. I can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and heartache. It's just the kind of thing some people notice. Don't worry about it. Okay, you got it. Thank goodness I was able to find the final pieces of evidence. With this, you'll have no reason left to push my poor boy around. That's it. These are the case-making pieces of evidence. I'll be the judge of that. Won't rest until I've discovered every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. I do see something in here. What's this? It looks like there's something inside the costume head. Hey, they sparkle. I bet they're really valuable. Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. But why are they in here? What else have we got? The bullet hole. It looks kind of burnt around the edges. Wait, those burn marks were left by the gunpowder. This is a most important fact. Oh, hey? What? What's the oh, hey? What is that? Because it's proof that the victim was shot at point-blank range. Could this gun be the actual murder weapon? Mirror shard in the head, huh? Yes, mirror shards. The badger looks like a sea monkey. Now that it's completely soaked, it is now a sea monkey. Alrighty. Well, are these not most definitely pieces of evidence you've ever seen? Thank you, Dad. This should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun, and they prove that it was Lolly who killed Oliver. But Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So, Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. The fingerprints on the weapon. Huh? Oh no, this isn't helpful at all. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lolly, but in the end, all I can do is watch on as she takes the punishment for her crimes. That may be all you can do, however. I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of unraveling your insidious lie. You wound me. Why would you believe me, even in the face of all this evidence? Gatewater? Watergate! Something like that, yeah. Making no mistake, there are fingerprints on the murderous gun.
Hold it!
Those fingerprints, are you sure they belong to Miss Paups? There's no mistake about it. Through my connections, I had the best forensics techniques money can buy performed. I find that to be a bit peculiar. What? Are you trying to pick an argument with me? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Frankly, I don't believe that Miss Paups' prints should be on that gun to begin with. And the reason why Miss Paups' prints should not be on the gun is... this. It's simply not possible. For Miss Paups to have left any prints on the murder weapon. Unicorn? Yes, it's a unicorn. The thing that we got. Because while she was at the stadium, Miss Paups was wearing a costume. Huh? But there's been no mistake. We found fingerprints. Well, Miss Paups, do you remember touching the gun at all at any time? Ah, yes. As a matter of fact, I did hold it for a bit back in the hideout. I handed it off to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for the haunted house. To retrieve the ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That is when Miss Paups' prints found their way onto the gun. Grrr. Do you understand now, Mr. Amano? The fingerprints do nothing to prove that Miss Paups is the murderer. But you still don't have anything to prove that she is the killer, right? You seem very adamant about insisting that your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer. Oh, Lance! What? No way. I'm incredibly worried about her. But that doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right? That's where you're wrong. I have the evidence. What? How? The story that Miss Paups killed the victim at the stage in the stadium. The whole affair is simply not true, because that was not the real crime scene, but a setup. This proves that the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all. It is the victim's costume. Let us take another good look at the costume the victim was wearing. Then I believe you will see why I insist he was not shot at the stadium. This is the part of the costume that proves it. The bullet hole.
Take that!
The burnt area. The burn around the bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point-blank range. Ah, so then you mean the murder Miss Oldbag saw at the stadium really was? Yes, she saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be a gunpowder burn. Heh, look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Since you seem to know all the answers, why not tell us where the real crime scene is then? Lance sent me up to look like Mr. Deacon back at the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that, and the location where Lance and the victim were at just before I was in prison was... Where could it be, guys? Where could the murderer be? New Jersey? Maybe not New Jersey. Maybe, unless you count New Jersey as this area.
Take that!
I think it's not unreasonable to assume the murder took place in the haunted house. The haunted house? Yes, and I have proof that it is highly likely that the victim was killed there. What proves the real scene of the crime was the haunted house? It is the mirror.
Take that!
The mirrors. They were inside the costume the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror. A mirror? And what does that have to do with anything? Indeed, you don't exactly expect to find pieces of a mirror inside a costume. Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous. However, there is one place I can think of where there is a plethora of mirror fragments. And that is the haunted house. Lance Amano, I propose that you kill Mr. Deacon with a revolver in the haunted house. After that, you stole the Blue Badger mobile to move his body to the Wild Wild West area. The timing of when the Blue Badger mobile was stolen confirms this as fact. Miles, my boy, say no more. I'm sorry, Mr. Amano, but I cannot do that. Be quiet. Yes, please do something. Stop that boy from speaking any more nonsense. Ernest Amano, correct? I meant you. Now be quiet, Gramps. How dare you? I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence. Good night, good night, Mafia. My bad. Good night, Mafia. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll let you know who the killer was, tomorrow. Unless you want to check out the VOD yourself. Bye! What? Sheena, wasn't there a mirror in the kidnapper's hideout? Yes, there was a mirror there. A mirror that's for the haunted house. You see, isn't that possible that fragments got into the costume there? But Agent Lang, there was no fragments on the floor, so the probability is very low. Probability? Ha 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 ha! Lang Z says, one truth's past, the word probability does not exist. The only thing that does is definitive proof. The question is, Mr. Prosecutor, do you have the definitive proof you need? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you? Do I have solid evidence that proves the murder took place at the haunted house? The answer is no. See? Since you don't have any, shut up. I don't have the evidence yet, but I'm certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom over. At that time, the only people at the haunted house besides myself were Lance and Mr. Deacon. If I can prove that the murder took place at the haunted house, then I can prove Lance's guilt in connection to the murder. What now, Mr. Edgeworth? Agent Lang, I have a special request. Yeah? I'd like to prove to you that the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house. Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission? Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth. Alright, permission granted, but you're not to touch a single thing, got it? That won't be a problem. All that's important to me is the truth be brought to light. It doesn't matter by who or how it's done, as long as it is. Tch. Sheena? I'm here. Put in the paperwork for the authorization immediately. Understood. I'll go get the Gatewater Group's approval. Who was that? Now. Let's hold on for a second. There is no need to obtain approval. Mr. Amano? Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this. What is this, Sheena? It's the deed to the haunted house. The deed? Read it out loud. Gatewater Land Inc. hereby bequeaths the property known as the haunted house to Mr. Amano for the lump sum of $1 million paid in full in cash. What? Ho ho ho. As you can see, I am now the legal owner of the haunted house. Are you kidding? When did you... I ran into the owner of the park earlier, and we made the deal almost immediately. How quickly things move when you can prepare $1 million in the blink of an eye. That's $1 million you paid. Don't tell me it was... Oh, that's right. This disgusting suitcase belongs to you, doesn't it? I don't have any more use for it, so you may have it back now. You used the ransom money? My Lance is a good boy. He even apologized for the kidnapping a bit earlier. So I do believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are, so if you would please discuss things with me from now on. Discuss? What is there to discuss? Rich jerk alert? Oh yeah. This guy's a big rich jerk, alright. Why have I permission to enter the haunted house, of course? While we were busy listening to Lance's story, Mr. Amano was out there preempting us. Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. And Miles, you should hurry on home now, my boy, before I really lose my temper. Arg, Mr. Amano definitely has the deck stacked in his favor here. What should I do? If I leave it like this, the truth will be lost forever. Would he be very suspected if he did that? Well, he did do that, but in real life, would that be, like, bad for him? And the real question is, how the heck do we get it now? Captain Chip says ye. Yeah, probably ye, indeed. Yeah, for sure. If I can't get permission to investigate the crime scene, then the truth will be lost. Hold it, hold it, hold it! Okay. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing spacing out? Have you forgotten? There's only one thing you should do at a time like this. And what is that? When the people are in a bind, the hero of justice appears to save the day. Look, you just leave it to me. For I am K. Faraday, the second of the great Yatagarasu. He only could keep you out for it as long as it takes you to get a warrant. Well, actually, we have another way to get in, Captain Chips. You have not seen this gimmick yet. It was played out before, but you're about to see something really cool. But I thought you were a thief, not a hero. The Yatagarasu is noble and is always a thief of justice. That, of course, if we had enough information, I can recreate the inside of the haunted house with this. Wait, well, legally. Yeah. Plus, if we then factor in everyone's testimony, you can recreate exactly what happened when I dropped off the ransom money. We may be able to figure out some new information through this. It's worth a try. Agent Lang? Ah, so you want to use your little toy? Be my guest. Okay, hang on. You're all about to witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Detective Gumshoe, is there a copy of the haunted house's blueprint among the police's reference document? Yes, sir. We got it just in case we needed it for the kidnapping case. Alright, I'll input the haunted house data, then... Ta-da! What is this? Where are we? It's like we're inside the haunted house. Even if we can't expect the real location itself, the path to the truth slumbers here. If I can successfully navigate my way using logic, I'll ultimately arrive at the truth. Now then, I believe I am ready to investigate the crime scene. Okay, what should I recreate first? You cannot get a warrant for private property without doing good cause, and possibly evidence is not good enough. Damn. Yep, Kay's device can do this, by the way. Okay, what should I recreate first? You haven't figured it out yet? Heh, maybe I have and maybe I haven't, but I'm going to make you do all the hard work. Very well. I'd like to inspect the moment in which I was ambushed by my abductor. The two of them were definitely in this place at that time. If I can't verify that, it may provide me with a new lead. I had just come out into the hallway after leaving the money inside the dining room. At that time, I saw a badger slumped over on the floor at the end of the hall. What was the badger doing all the way down there? I also thought it strange. However, I thought that maybe it was simply a mannequin that was set there for atmosphere. Do you know which badger it was? No, it was too dark to tell. All I saw was its silhouette. In that case, I guess I'll just program a badger silhouette in for now. Frankly, the shattered shards of the mirror and the costume known to be worn by the victim would be good enough evidence for that. Hey, there we go. Then I started walking toward the exit. And that's when you were struck from behind, right? Yes. But that's odd. The hallway is a dead end. Where did your assailant come from? There is only one location I can think of. I believe my assailant was lying in wait. Here. It's... here.
Take that!
Okay. That doll I saw wasn't really a doll. It was in fact the costume kidnapper. Oh, so he used the costume as the perfect camouflage to blend in with the rest of the house. Precisely. He waited until I had made the drop-off and was about to leave. Then, just as he saw me take a step toward the exit, he stood and launched his attack. I can think of no better hiding place than this. Hey, not bad. I'm beginning to think that I should steal this tactic for myself. Just don't use it to do anything criminal, Kay. Ooh, scary, isn't it? Well, Lance? What are you asking me for? As one of the kidnappers, I figured I should give you the chance to confess first. I was one of the kidnappers, but I don't know anything. I did come up to the haunted house, but I'd never set foot inside. I left Oliver in charge of picking up the ransom money. He didn't set foot inside. Is he telling the truth, or is this another lie? Alright, then you're claiming that it was Mr. Deacon who assaulted me? Yes, I'm sure it was him. Okay, I'm putting the new info now. Mr. Deacon was the Bad Badger, right? Since the Bad Badger has a gun attached to its right hand, I'll have to change it so the weapon is in his left hand. Now to verify the facts of this recreation. Alright. So, here's the bad, bro. You didn't recreate the weapon. Well, I can't exactly recreate something I don't know nothing about. So tell me, what were you hit with? That attack came from behind, so I have no idea, but I doubt it was someone's bare hands. Okay, then where were you hit? I was hit on the right side of my head, just above my temple. There was a bit of blood, but it wasn't anything serious. Ouch, sounds painful. Why are you smirking like that when you say it? It's just your imagination. Now let's see. I wonder if there's anything in the hallway that could have been used as a weapon. I'm looking for something the culprit could have used to hit you with. How about... this thing. I have it. There was indeed one such object lying here in this hallway. The badge? The badge. My attorney's badge, or my prosecutor badge. How clever are these murderers, huh? A prop sword. Are you talking about this thing here? Yes, although we did find it at the kidnapper's hideout. Wait, yes, it's possible that the culprit took it with him after using it on me. They'll leave no evidence behind, right? Correct. It may be worth more than a more thorough examination yet. Okay, so what test do you want to run on this sword? Test with luminol. The culprit was wearing a costume at the time, so a fingerprint analysis is useless. Give me a second, guys. Okay. Luminol test, it's possible that the blood found its way into this. Walkthrough, huh? Yeah, I'm kind of using a walkthrough. Not because I'm an idiot, but because I played this game already, and I don't want to spend time remembering what the right answers are. I mainly want to get to the second game because I've never played it before. It would take for the warrant would be more than enough for Amano to erase the entire scene. Very true. Agent Lang, may I ask for your cooperation in this matter? Like I have a choice. Sheena, call the lab boys. Understood. I'm gonna try not to use a walkthrough for the second game, by the way, because I've never played that game before. Except for the dab in your left side, it would appear that the blade is spotless. So it must have been left the side of the prop sword that hit you then, right? Okay, I'll update the recreation with this new piece of info. I won't rest until I've inspected every single suspicious nook and cranny. I think I missed something I gotta investigate, by the way. When you take a look around, it almost feels more like a house of mirrors. Indeed, who ever heard of this many mirrors inside of a haunted house before? Well, at least we know that this is the real crime scene thanks to these mirror shards. Yay! Hey, wait, these shards, there's something different about them. Oh? The ones we found earlier are thicker than the shards from these mirrors on this wall. And look, there's some sort of design on the back, too. The pieces from that costume are certainly different from the other mirrors. What does this mean? Could it be that our pieces are not pieces of this mirrors? Alright, where were we? We were doing this. Alright, I'm going to deduce the sword. with the sword.
Eureka!
Finally, I found a clear contradiction of the facts about this sword. Except for the bit on the left side of this prop sword is absolutely spotless. However, if the culprit had used his left hand, the blood would have been on the opposite side. The opposite side? Huh? If the culprit held the sword in his left hand, then the sword's right hand would hit. I see, but the blood was on the left side of the sword, right? Which means that he used the right hand to hit you. Exactly. This prop sword had a large hand guard attached to the hilt. It would be impossible to hold it with two hands while wearing a costume with such big hands. Therefore, if it couldn't be in the left hand or both hands, it must have been the right. I'll change the data to reflect a right-handed swing. Not yet, Kay. There's no sense in changing anything yet. If you change the parameters to the right hand, it only create a new contradiction. Choose the prop sword to be the culprit's right hand would conflict with what? I think I know the answer, but just in case to get things right, gotta do it right. It's the missing model gun.
Take that!
The Bad Badger already holds the gun in his right hand, so he can't hold the sword in addition. Hey, that's right. Then what now? If it wasn't in his left or his right hand, it means that the one who struck me could not have been the Bad Badger. Are you paying attention, Lance? Mr. Deacon could not have been the one who struck me, which leaves only you as a primary suspect. Fine, it was me. I hit you. It appears that you lied to me yet again, but see how quickly they catch up to you? Lance? Wait, isn't Lance left-handed? Yes, but that's what makes this deception all the more interesting. He used his right hand to make it look like Mr. Deacon had been the one to strike me. For you see, firing a gun with one's non-dominant hand is difficult, but that level of dexterity isn't required to swing a prop sword. Okay, please input this new data. The one who hit me from behind was Lance. Or should I say, the Proto-Badger. Here you got it. Here I go. Now we have a faithful recreation of the situation around the attack on me. Alright, all we have to do is examine this new recreation and... Ha 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 ha! And what exactly is so funny, Agent Lang? This amusing little gadget sure packs a punch, right, Sheena? Yes, it was all I could do to hold my laughter in. Hey, don't make fun of little thief, you mean old werewolf. He and Mr. Edgeworth bring out the best in each other. You've had your little fun, but now it's my turn. I've sat quietly by listening, but the crude conclusion you two keep spewing don't whet this wolf's appetite. There's no guarantee that your toy will always show the real situation at any given time. All it displays is whatever information you put in there, right? Well, when you put it that way, your suppositions are wrong. It's not your fault, so I'm going to let you in on this. There is a trick to this haunted house. And what may that be exactly? A trick beyond what your tiny imaginations can produce. Shina! Here you are. Now then, what you missed, girlie, is written right here in this pamphlet. The 7 Wonders of the Haunted House, the Disappearing Badger. Gatewater Land is full of mystery. See if you can find and experience them all. The 7 Wonders of the Haunted House, the Disappearing Badger! What is this? I'd say that someone around here is fond of theatrics. And as you can see, they set a doll they set a doll down at the end of this hallway for up to that purpose. Basically, the blue badger you saw was just a stupid doll. How can this be? Guess that throws your whole theory about it being your attacker right out of the window. But that can't be right. Maybe the culprit hid the doll somewhere, and then he laid down and pretended to be it instead. If the criminal couldn't even hide himself in the hallway, how could he hide a giant doll? Do you get it now? Thanks to your presumptions, your logic started off weak and led you to the completely wrong conclusion. Now get off your high horse. Mr. Edgeworth? Okay, I wonder if you could please input the new information for me. You don't know when to quit, do you? I can't quit, not until I can declare that I've found the truth. Agent Lane, for the additional information, you have my thanks. Tch, there you go again. We'll see if I care. Okay, I'm updating the recreation now. Okay. That looks really weird. Look at how it changes from the blue badger into the proto badger all of a sudden. If the slumped over badger was just a doll, where was my attacker hiding? Well, that's what we're going to find out, right? So come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go! Yes, let's. This recreation can't be right, which means there must be a contradiction somewhere. It's all the way over here! Woo! Or still haven't spotted every single suspicious nook and cranny. Oh, another deduce. The blue badger is just a doll for use in this haunted house. I bet the one who killed this blue badger was the bad badger, right? According to the Blue Badger Bible, it says that they are each other's worst enemy, all because one's an ally of justice and the other's a vile criminal with a gun? Perhaps they were just destined to battle each other, much like the Steel Samurai and the Evil Magistrate. Well, time to deduce. And do the Bible.
Eureka!
Hold on a second here. There's something wrong with the blue badger. Huh? Like what? The way the belt is on him is opposite of how it should be. Did you make a mistake? That can't be. I inputted the image data just exactly as it is in the pamphlet. So then, why is the blue badger dressed up in reverse? Yeah, guys. What the heck? Maybe it's just logic time. Kate, do you remember what you said earlier? What I said earlier about what? About how this building might as well have been a house of mirrors. A house of mirrors? Oh, that would explain the reversed or mirrored image. Yes, this blue badger might be nothing more than a reflected image of a real one. Then, was the blue badger you saw just a reflection? When I looked down this hall, I thought it was perfectly straight. However, if there was a mirror... Oh, then it would actually form an L shape, right? Precisely. I was deceived. The hallway was almost pitch black, and there was a beam in the way of that obstructed my view of the other hallway. Wait, but why build this place like that? Sounds pretty pointless to me. Okay, this house is just another attraction at an amusement park. They created a mirror wall for a very specific purpose, only one that I can point out to you. This was the reason they built the mirror wall. It's because it's a flippin' haunted house!
Take that!
As it's written in the pamphlet, the main draw of this attraction is the mystery of the disappearing badger. You mean they built the mirror for that trick alone? But you said you saw the badger, so it was definitely still there. That was true, at the time, however. Doing this allows someone to make the blue badger disappear in a flash. It's this one. To remove the reflected image, simply move the mirror. First, the mirror was constructed so that it would be moved. Then beyond where the mirror was, an empty hallway had to be created. Oh, so when they wanted people to see the blue badger, they would open the mirror. And when they wanted to hide it, they simply had to close it again. This explains why the other side of these fragments had a design on them. Ah, and if the pattern is the same as the other walls in the hallway, then when the mirror is closed, it would blend in with the rest of the walls. This is the mirror trick that this haunted house employs. And this also proves the existence of a hiding place for the culprit. Huh? How so? Think about it, Kay. It was a place that was outside of my field of vision. The culprit kept out of sight by hiding here.
Take that!
There was a very large blind spot. One that I cannot see behind, one that I cannot see beyond, and it was here. If my assailant hid on the other side of the movable mirror, then you wouldn't be able to see him. He didn't even need to do anything to the blue badger doll. Exactly. All he had to do was wait for me on the other side of the mirror. Wait, hold on. I just thought of something. Yes? Well, shouldn't the mirror wall be broken right now in reality? Since we have a few shards of it, we can probably assume it is. Yes, it most definitely is broken. Question is, when was it broken? Since we found these inside the victim's costume, that would mean that the victim was there when the mirror was broken. Wait, that sound. Leave the money and go, now! That sound I heard was most definitely the sound of a mirror breaking. Okay, I'd like you to input some new information. Ack, don't scare me like that. Sorry, but I need you to recreate something for me. Sure, whatever you need. So what do you need anyway? If you could first recreate this hallway just before I enter the dining room. You got it. Ho ho! Ah! Now this, I believe this is how it was right before I entered. Although at the time I thought it was but a single straight hallway. And then I went inside. It was around then that I heard the sound of a mirror shattering. You heard what? Then? Yes, I believe it was then that the mirror was broken. Okay, so then when you stepped outside into the hallway again, the mirror wall should no longer exist. Okay, please recreate that. Got it! Wait, but with the mirror gone, the culprit lost its hiding spot. So where did he go in his Proto-Badger suit, Mr. Edgeworth? Huh, that's easy enough. With the mirror gone, he simply hid himself in the branch hallway. I thought this was about I think this is about wraps it up. Looks like we finally solved everything. No, not yet. An even larger contradiction has now reared its head. Huh? Perhaps you did not notice, but this recreation consists of very troubling inconsistency. The inconsistency between what I saw and the recreation lies... right here, apparently, is what the guide is is what I think is true.
Take that!
Okay, take a look at the end of the hall. Oh, there's no blue badger there. Exactly, the blue badger that I saw in reality is not here. This is the final point on this long chain of logic, the last remaining contradiction. Oh, we're back here. I want that thing so badly, guys, that little thief gadget. Where can I get one? So let me get this straight. When you came out of the dining room, you saw a badger, right? And that is precisely where the final contradiction lies. Something that shouldn't exist was there before me. Who or what do you suppose it was? I believe this is the real identity of our mysterious badger. It is... it is... the costume. Wish technology like that existed. Oh, I wish it did too. Oh, I wish it did too, guys. Wouldn't that be the best?
Take that!
The badger I saw was in actuality the dead victim's body. What? Agent Lay, the entirety of my complete logic is my final, decisive piece of evidence. The murder happened in the hallway of the haunted house at the time of the drop-off, and you can consider the moment I heard the mirror breaking to be the real time of death for Mr. Deacon. No! Maybe it was due to their fighting, or perhaps it was the life-shattering bullet. But no matter what the cause was, the hallway mirror wall was broken. Ha! You were in the house at the time, right? Are you telling me that you missed the sound of a gunshot? There was a variety of sound effects playing at the time, all for theatrics, I assume. The gunshot must have blended right in. Aiyah! Now then, I'd like you to recall something for me. Who was it that was with the victim at the haunted house? Eric? Who was the one who had the opportunity to rob the victim of his gun and use it on him? Eric! It was you, Latamano! I'm sorry. Yay! It's not like I had a choice. Oliver turned on me all of a sudden. He snapped and turned violent right after I hung up with you. He needed better cuffs. I know, right? His cuffs were about as weak as, Simon Blackwell's cuffs. He shoved me to the ground and straddled me. I fought back as hard as I could, grabbed his gun, and I shot him. The bullet must have went through his body and shattered the mirror. If I hadn't taken his gun and shot him first, I would have been the one you found. He's a hardened criminal. He escaped from jail. See? That's justified self-defense. Yeah, justified self-defense. So he's fine, right? Lance is fine. My boy was only trying to protect himself. It remains to be seen and will have to be resolved in court. Agent Lane, I leave the rest to you. Heh, as if you were the one in charge around here now. He? Oh, I think we're meant to finish that more. Guys, arrest these two and get them out of my sight. He's a white rich boy, so yeah, he'd be fine. Well, but where would he be on the kill this man list? That's the big question. Wait, I had nothing to do with the murder. The only person you should be arresting is Lance. Dad? Sorry, but you're not slipping away that easily, Mr. Ernest Amano. You tampered with the evidence so that you could cover for your son. What a great dad you are, willing to risk it all. Truly touching. Grrr. By the way, do you know why I'm really here? And how could I possibly know the answer to such an asinine question? You wooed me. I came all the way from across the sea just to see you, you know. You came to see me? What's that supposed to mean? I have a few things to ask you, Mr. Amano, about a case from 10 years ago. If he really did only murder someone in self-defense, that he's not that high, but he did try depending the murder on his girlfriend, so pretty high. Yeah. If he never did that, maybe he'd be a bit lower. But yeah, he an asshole. A case from 10 years ago? Oh, what's the name of that you use here for that case? Shina. It's known as the KG-8 incident. The KG-8 incident? Oh, so you remember it. Good. Then you'll recall that the trigger in that case was the Amano Group scandal. Specifically, the charge of an internal smuggling ring. Smuggling. There's that word again. At the time, the person that was arrested as the ringleader was Mr. Amano's very own secretary, Mr. Colin Devore. Ah, Father! Even though you pushed the crime onto your then secretary, Mr. Devore, I always suspected that you were involved with the smuggling ring, Mr. Amano. Mr. Devore was arrested in place of you, which is why when he broke out, you hid him from the police, right? You hid him in exchange for his silence on your little dirty secret. So where would Mr. Amano be on the kill this man list then, since he did that? Now. Please calm down. I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. Heh, pretend to be ignorant all you want. We're taking you down to the precinct anyway for a nice long chat. Who the heck was that? Oh. I'll take him down to the precinct if you don't mind. And who the heck are you? I'm Jacques Portsman, and I'm the prosecutor in charge of this case. Oh, Jacques, thank goodness you're here. Don't jerk me around. This is an Interpol case, so you keep your paws off my suspect. Sorry, but I can't comply. I've got the backing of the prosecutor's office. See, in this country, we prosecutors work with the police to bring the cases to court. So if you could please cooperate with me here, that'd be great. Weirdly not that high of all things considered, that's just stereotypical corruption. Gotcha. Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? Sorry, but I hate prosecutors, the whole lot of you. Guys, arrest these two suspects. Sir! Oh, I almost forgot. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, is it? I'd like to thank you. Thank me? Yeah, for working so hard to fulfill my goal. Hey, is that any way to thank someone? And what the heck is that supposed to mean? You were so relentless with Lance that you forced Ernest to tamper with the evidence. Thanks to that, I finally had the legitimate reason to arrest him. So how does it feel to bite the hand that feeds you? The hand that feeds me? I'm not sure I follow. Heh, it's no use pretending with me. You're the one, right? You're the corrupt prosecutor that's working for Mr. Amano and the smuggling ring, right? No, I would never do such a thing. Tch, what the heck? Her intel's never wrong. In your prosecutor's office, there's definitely someone working with the ring. Ah, so Agent Lang suspected my relation to Mr. Amano. That must be the real reason behind his antagonistic attitude. On top of that, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? There were non-stop rumors flying around about forged evidence with that guy. You're not twisting the truth behind those closed courtroom doors too, are you? The courtroom is a place where the truth is revealed. Ha 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 ha! Well, don't you worry. It's not only you. A whole lot of you can't be trusted. Well, Portsman just walked up. Yep. Portsman is arrived. The real crooked one. A prosecutor who has never lost in 40 years. Every defendant must be found guilty. Fueled by that kind of thinking, is it any wonder that courts produce nothing but falsities and lies? It would seem that his disdain extends beyond just me. Prosecutors, the courts, why is this man so angry with us all? Rest assured, the next time we meet, I won't be so forgiving. So don't you forget it. Please wait. Agent Shina. Why does Agent Lang hate all prosecutors so? Lang is the head of the long-honored House of Lang in Zhengfa. The heads of all police-related divisions in that country were of Lang blood. Were? What do you mean by that? Aren't they still? They were revered, but that was a long ago. They don't hold that sort of sway anymore. It was all because of the courts. How can that be? A prosecutor once withheld and tampered with the evidence one of the Lang detectives found. That evidence's purity was tarnished, and the cost the Lang family its honor and trust. But not all prosecutors are like that. Even so, Lang will never respect the court again, or any prosecutor. So Agent Lang is a man who hates all courts and is unwilling to forgive prosecutors. Man, what a piece of work that guy is. Come on, Jim, we better catch up. Yeah. We've still got to deliver that thing to the old man, after all. Huh. Detective Gumshoe, I believe it's time we wrapped up and headed out ourselves. Yeah, are you going home, Mr. Edgeworth? No. I've done nothing but be entangled in one mess after another since my return. If it's alright with you, can you drop me off at my office? No problem, sir. Excuse me? Yes, what is it? Thank you very much. Aw, it's okay. No need to thank me, pal. Just doing my job as a detective. I guess I was fooled pretty badly by Lance. Oh, cruel fate, what's a woman to do when she's been hurt by the one she loves? And to think I never realized my father was right there. Never said anything to him. I knew it. I'm a failure. Ah, there she goes again, talking to herself. Miss Pops, I wonder if you know why your father participated in the kidnapping. No, I have no idea. Your father died while he was trying to stop Lance, which means that from the beginning, he had no interest in the staged self-abduction. Wait, then why did he... I believe it was because of your presence, Miss Pops. Me? Lance realized that the two of you were related, which is why he used you as a hostage to coerce Mr. Devore into cooperating. Father! As a felon, he cannot tell you of his real relation to you. However, as the Amano family butler, at the very least he was able to watch over you. It was all he could do, but that was the shape of his overflowing love for you. Go on, speak your mind. Thank you very much. You're welcome, although there is no need to thank me. Ah, no, Lauren, stop. I mean, this man's so much older than you. Oh, dear. Hee hee, looks like you've completely stolen her away, Mr. Edgeworth. Way to go, sir. Your technique is way beyond the level of a great thief. What are you going on about now? Well, your deducing skills may be sound, but you have no street smarts. That's Mr. Edgeworth for you. Yeah, I mean, he still hasn't figured out who I am at all. If you haven't remembered in all this time, I guess I'm just going to have to say it. This isn't the first time we've met, you know. What do you mean, pal? Mr. Edgeworth, how do you know this girl? Looks like you totally forgot me too, Gummy. Gummy? Here, maybe this will jog your memories. I promised I'd return this to you one day. Remember? That single piece of cloth took me back far into my past, to that fateful day 7 years ago when I first met the then child Kay and Detective Gumshoe. And that's the end of Case 3, everyone. Woo! A very fun case indeed. And now we're going back to the past to do episode 4, Turnabout Reminiscence. We have a few minutes. Let's just start it. You might like the setting for this one, by the way, guys. Tell me if this place looks familiar. Kay Faraday, the young lady who calls herself the second Yatagarasu. The piece of cloth that she conjured up has taken me back to many years ago. 7 years earlier. Yay! Court! Yeah, that's right. I did it. I killed the guy. But it was the great thief Yatagarasu that told me to do it. I asked the defendant, just what exactly are you trying to say? Don't you get it? I know the true identity of the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu is the man standing over there at the prosecutor's bench. Are you saying that I'm the Yatagarasu? Don't you dare deny it. You told me to kill him when you snuck into the embassy. Are you claiming that Mr. Faraday is the Yatagarasu? That's exactly what I'm claiming. Mr. Rel, I think we've heard just about enough out of you. Your Honor, please listen to me. I'm telling the truth. You've gotta believe me. Gummy was a criminal? Nope. In accordance with the defendant's accusation, a new prosecutor shall be called to replace Mr. Faraday. This court will be in recess until the new prosecutor is ready. Yay! We're back in court, guys. And look, it's Edgeworth in his old costume. It's almost time for me to enter the courtroom. And so it is that my first assignment as a prosecutor will be young edgy indeed, as a replacement for a prosecutor who has been accused by the defendant. If we're back in time, does this mean Edgeworth? Sir. Have you read over all the documents regarding this trial? Yes, sir. I've memorized everything there is to know. Very good. The paperwork for the prosecutor substitution is just about complete. Edgeworth, always bear in mind that as your mentor, I, Manfred von Karma, will accept nothing short of perfection. I understand, sir. To have the chance to stand in court at such an early stage in my career, I am honored and proud. As I have watched over your studies, I am giving you this very rare chance. Prove yourself. Crush the defendant's pathetic lies into oblivion. Yes, sir. That such a legendary prosecutor will be watching and judging my performance. I have to be perfect in every way. Woof! Well, didn't think we'd see this guy again, huh? But here he is. This is so good. Gulp, gulp, gulp. I could drink a whole gallon. I've never heard of water that tasted that good. Maybe I'll give him a minute. Gulp, 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 gulp. Gulp, 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 gulp. Does he plan on gulping the entire reservoir dry? Excuse me, madam, but is something the matter? I just thought someone would have brought ours divorce by now. But this is a courthouse. It would be quite atypical to provide hors d'oeuvres here. Are you sure? Somebody poured me a fresh cup of coffee last time I was here. What the heck does she think a courthouse is for? And over here we have, two peoples. A model of the courthouse. It's pretty well constructed. Hands and a face? Don't tell me this thing transforms. And I wonder for what other purpose could they have been made. Aren't these great? Daddy made all of these. Awesome! But didn't you get fired right after you made them? Yeah, I did. I spent the same amount of money on this model as it cost to build the real thing. And my boss wasn't very happy with me. Hey, Daddy, didn't you say you built a secret mechanism inside of it? I'll tell you about it someday when you're older. A secret mechanism? Maybe he installed it as a payback for getting fired. It could be trouble. Now I'm curious. I think I see a blue badger on the kid's shirt there. That thing was just everywhere. Alright, can't go that way. Alright, let's talk to our old bent buddy Von Karma. Today's trial should have ended in just 1 minute. Because the defendant was picked up by the security camera, correct? Exactly. The killer had the gall to say that he only killed because he was instructed to do so. Even more outrageous is his claim that the case prosecutor, Byrne Faraday, gave the order. Ha! Faraday is such a fool. He's been cornered by his very own prey. Sir, are you an acquaintance of Mr. Byrne Faraday? He is a pathetic man who speaks nothing but nonsense. Nonsense? He once tried to explain to me a way of punishing those who cannot be brought to court. Those who cannot be brought to court? That is nonsense, for no man is above the law. I don't know. Have you seen the latest Ace Attorney games? Well, there are always a few exceptions. However, there is no reason to even deal with such individuals. A prosecutor is a guardian of the court, one with no obligation to outside matters. Thus, there is no reason to deal with such individuals. I see. Prosecutor Faraday. Yep. That's someone. Edgeworth, disgracing yourself as Faraday has will not be forgiven. Have no fear. I will not let you down, sir. In place of the accused prosecutor Byrne Faraday, I'll prove the defendant's guilt. Very good. I've secured an hour of recess for you to prepare to do just that. Show them all the power of Von Karma. So have you achieved a firm understanding of the case? Yes, sir. I've memorized everything that is written down in the case files. What do we have, anyway? Oh. Manfred Von Karma and Byrne Faraday. Okay. Well then, explain the case to me. I want to see if you really know what you are talking about. Understood. A murder was committed on September 8th in front of the Kodopian Embassy. Is that a real place? The victim, Mr. Deedman, wow, was a staff member at the embassy. The defendant in this case, Mr. Mackrell, was held for questioning the night of the incident as he was deemed suspicious. For a funny line, show your badge to Von Karma? Oh, alrighty. As soon as I can, I will. He was quickly placed under arrest for the possession of the murder weapon, a gun. Furthermore, at the time of the murder, the great thief Yadagarasu had successfully infiltrated the Kodopian embassy as well. At first, Rel claimed that he himself was the Yadagarasu, but he did not kill Deedman. I wonder what he expected to gain from such a desperate lie. It's possible that he wants to go down while in the spotlight if he is found guilty. There truly is no limit to people's inanity, but I digress. Continue, Edgeworth. Yes, sir. During the trial, the prosecution presented the security footage that captured the murder. Expectedly, Big Man is a demanding teacher, but at this point, he's not trying to cover his rear, so he almost seems responsible in comparison. big man? Do you mean, Von Karma? The footage clearly shows Mr. Rel as the murderer. The act of Mr. Rel firing his gun could be clearly seen from the visitors' gallery. Upon seeing that the defendant retracted his statement and admitted to the murder, yeah, Von Karma, I did it because I was told to, by the real Yatagarasu, Byrne Faraday. That sounds about right. However, you've forgotten one thing. While this may appear to simply be the murder of a Kodopian embassy staff member, people are actually referring to it as the second KG-8 incident. The second KG-8 incident? I'm very sorry, sir. I fear I failed to study hard enough. Well, even among the police, it's information that only a select few are privy to. Could you please enlighten me, sir? Present the badge. It is thanks to you that I have finally become a prosecutor, sir. It's amusing that you wanted to become a defense attorney, yet became my student. It is a strange path you have traveled. It's true that I had once wanted to become a defense attorney, but now I am honored and proud to be a prosecutor. I see, and as a student of mine, I suggest you remember this well. The prosecutor's badge is not to be flaunted. The dignity of a prosecutor lies in the man himself, not in the badge. You understand? I will keep that in mind. Besides, why put holes in your fine garments? It's simply preposterous. Prosecutors must also take pride in their appearance. I will keep this in mind as well. I'm constantly having to remind the others at the prosecutor's office of this. It's more fashionable to keep your prosecutor's badge in your pocket. In other words, always treat a prosecutor's badge with care and honor. I understand, sir. Very strange sentence, guys. Oh well. Karma only doesn't want holes in his shirt. Yep, he just doesn't want holes in him anymore. The name Mackerel makes me wonder why no one in the series was named Red Herring. That would be great. Make it happen next game. Picture him yelling at other prosecutors who wear theirs on their lapels. Oh yeah. He would be ticked. Wouldn't want a hole in your shirt either if you dress that fancy. I know, right? The fanciest prosecutor dresses ever. What, sir? What do you mean by the second KG-8 incident? In order for me to tell you that, you must first learn about the original case. Take a look at these documents. This is a 3-year-old newspaper. You have heard of the Amano Group scandal before, correct? Yes, I have. The secretary of Ernest Amano, the Amano Group's director, was arrested under suspicion of smuggling. Correct. CCU was an employee of the Amano Group, and the sole witness to the smuggling operation. It was she who brought the crime to light. However, Miss Yu was silenced before she could testify in court. Wasn't a Kodopian embassy staff member arrested for the murder? Yes, a Kodopian by the name of Manny Cochin was the suspect. However, due to lack of evidence, the case went unresolved. Lack of evidence? Red herring. He was in a pup named Scooby-Doo. Was there a red herring in that particular show? So a pup named Scooby-Doo copyrighted that name. Darn it. Ha, if only I was in charge of that case. I would have done everything in my power to prove his guilt. To make sure that all criminals are found guilty. My mentor really is dedicated. Faraday was the prosecutor on the case then, and he was as pathetic as ever. Mr. Faraday was in charge of the KG-8 incident as well? That's right. And now, once again, the victim of the case you are currently assigned to was someone who was scheduled to testify against that smuggling organization. There was, in fact, he was a regular joke who showed up in every episode. Oh man, and I watched that show back in the day too. that was a good show, actually. And just like last time, the victim was murdered right before he was to testify. You're catching on. The victim was murdered just before his day in court against the smuggling organization. Events are occurring almost exactly the same way as they did in the KG-8 incident. So that's why it's being called the second KG-8 incident. Yes. Yet there is one difference between the two incidents. What would that be? The so-called noble thief that is sending everyone into an uproar. The great thief Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu? I better find out more. Okay. And the one time the girls, demanded Fred, not accuse him he turned out to be the villain. That's funny. I should find that show again on the YouTubes and watch it again. If it is true that the Yatagarasu showed up in the Kodopian embassy, what could he or she have been after? No doubt to steal any suspicious accounting records and release them publicly, or more likely to steal secrets from the Kodopian embassy itself, since the item that the Yatagarasu stole from there was sent to the police. What was it that the Yatagarasu sent to the police? I don't know the details. Anything related to the Yatagarasu is getting the top secret treatment. Still, I find it very ironic. By returning the stolen item to the police, it was proof positive that the Yatagarasu had infiltrated the embassy on the same day the staff member was killed. Criminals have a way of incriminating themselves, wouldn't you say? That would have to be the first time the Yatagarasu has left evidence behind, correct? Yes, indeed. If you wish to learn more about the Yatagarasu, then I suggest you ask Faraday. Mr. Faraday? He happens to be the prosecutor in charge of the Yatagarasu case as well. He's the prosecutor in charge of both the KG-8 incident and the Yatagarasu case? Mr. Faraday really has a lot on his plate. What is it, little girl?
You're scary, mister.
Did you need something?
I want to trade these coins with you.
A fistful of dimes and quarters and pennies, but it looks like you've exactly $1. Is this what you want?
Thanks, that's exactly what I needed. La 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 la.
Could that child be here to watch the trial? How disrespectful for a child like that to be running around inside the courthouse. Does no one have respect for this country's judicial system anymore?
Nope.
Of how Manfred is actually shocked that Kay was afraid of him. I know. Little did we know, a young kid actually caused damage to Manfred von Karma. Oh. Maybe he wasn't always evil incarnate. Maybe not always. But definitely is kind of now. The paperwork for the prosecutor's substitution is complete. Why, do you even know how much time there is left before the trial resumes? I'm sorry, sir. I can have you mopping up this courthouse instead of the protecting it in an instant. Gulp. It's no bother, sir. Not being completely prepared could prove to be a perfect handicap for me. A proud one you are. You had better collect the evidence from Faraday and prepare yourself. It's time for your debut, Edgeworth. But Von Karma, wasn't my introduction in the third game? Against Mia Fey? What's going on here? September 10th. That was yesterday, guys! Oh my gosh, that was yesterday. Just what is going on? Why isn't Faraday here yet? How is it possible that the defense is not prepared yet either? Bailiff, where is Mr. Faraday? I'm not sure. Wasn't really paying attention. There he is. Best judge. And technically only judge. Not counting that other judge. Ah, you must be the one Mr. Von Karma recommended. I hear this will be your first trial. I look forward to seeing how you perform. Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson. Sir, it looks like the trial is about to resume. However, his brother, yeah, the only two judges that exist in the world. Yes, it will be all but impossible to prove the witness a liar without the evidence from Faraday. What is that blessed buffoon up to? It's an emergency, sirs!
It's Gumshoe! In the old...
Silence! There shall be no yelling in the sacred hall of law. Bailiff, remove that man from this courtroom at once! Please. Wait, you have to listen to me. There's an emergency. Defendant lobby number 2, Mr. Faraday and the defendant. The two of them, they're both dead, Your Honor. What? 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 Yay! We got 2 murders, guys. Not just 1, but 2. If you run out of life in this portion, Manfred shows up and drags you off as a failure, directing to investigate it himself. That's funny. Stay back. No one's allowed on the crime scene. Period. Just who does this oddball think he is? This is becoming quite the hot spot. Isn't she Mr. Rell's defense attorney? Hey you, no running in the hallway, pal. And who are you to tell me what to do? I'll never find out what's going on like this. Time for some civil discourse. Alright guys, I'm looking at the time, and I think it's time to go. So just remember, young judges for justice. Just remember that. But yeah, I'm gonna pause it here, guys, and whoops. Damn it. I'm going to pause it here, and we'll continue this tomorrow. Not tomorrow, in 2 days. We are in the past, everyone. How will this past case go, huh? But thank you all for stopping by. It's great to have you all. We're moving through this game pretty fast. Faster than I thought we were, to be honest. But I'm still enjoying it. Archie was old from the day he was born. Yep. He was literally born like that. He's the Benjamin Button of this world, except he's not getting... except he never got younger. But yep, take care. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Hope you had a good time. And I'll see all of you, hopefully tomorrow. Bye-bye!